Good day. I know I'm late. Bonus stream. What kind of bonus stream? Not really a bonus stream. Super late stream. I wasn't with it yesterday. I was gonna do it yesterday, but I just wasn't myself yesterday. I needed a day. Which, you know, sometimes you just need a day. Sometimes you just need to take a day to kind of re-get your head back together. So that's why I'm here. Yeah, it's a nice little chill music. Right, so I think I am ready. Yeah, sorry. When sometimes when I minimize raid, it just goes dark screen. I don't really know why. It doesn't like it. Doesn't like it too much. So yeah, I'm a little bit just like trying to get my bearings. It's been I've kind of worked a lot today. I know you shouldn't work on a Sunday, but it's been good. I've needed to get my life in order, as they say. Just closing some screens down here, and then I will be fully focused on the problem at hand. Okay, I'm focused. I apologize. It's been a weekend. So, how's everyone's weekend going? How are we feeling? It's been a very interesting week, right? It's highs and lows and Freya decks and Hydra nerfs and hero pods that honestly, I've kind of done a lot of it because I went hard trying to get Newt. I did use up a lot of my sacreds because I was like, well, I've already got legendary. If I get a new, I also wanted the Phoenix, so I've got myself a +4 Phoenix now. I did yeet 10 ancient shards, and those 10 ancient shards got me a Razzlevarg. I totally wasn't expecting it because obviously I've just had Tila, so my mercy's really low. I got a dupe Razzlevarg, you know, which doesn't really help me. I've got a dupe one. Everyone's getting on Rio, and I've had absolutely 0 on Rios. So every other content creator and everyone else in the world has got one. And what did I get? 12 rares. 12 goddamn rares. Slayer does not work on Thor. Do not use Slayer on Thor. It won't work on his A2. It will work on his A3 and his A4, his passive, but it will not work on his A2. And let's face it, Thor's A2 is what we care about. I would recommend you use something like Merciless or Savage Lethal. Merciless is quite good on him because you get back around to his abilities quicker, and that's kind of what you want to do. So, but yeah, I kind of got all the way down to the 4-star. I don't really care for the 5-star. I didn't even care for the souls. I just had some excess, so I just went and got the soul. 4-star's pretty good. So I'm not pulling anymore. I want to keep some back, but I was trying to get a second Newt. And then like halfway through trying to get the second Newt, I was kind of like, maybe I shouldn't get the second Newt, because what you'll see today, my plans, like I don't really want to make my teams, like there's just nothing that I can do. Like it kind of kills the game, if that makes sense. Because the moment I do get the second Newt, there's literally like nothing that can beat 2 Newts and a Marius. like everything that they release is all going to be like, okay, let me just 2 nuke and a Marius it, and I kind of don't want to do that. So part of me was like, if I chase the nuke, great, it's awesome, I find these like unlockable power teams, but then the other part of me is like, it kind of just kills all the fun. So so hey, good week for me. Got Onryo, Calamitous, Jorgid, and finished Marius. Good God, Ash, your account has just gone absolutely bonkers. I bet you're looking out for another champion training tournament or champion training event. You've got loads to do. Did I finish Soul Cross? I haven't even... Nah. I kind of went up and then I went for the keys when I stopped because these stages are just annoying. They're not hard. I just need to re-gear people and they're just annoying. So it was taking too much of my focus and time. So I just kind of slowed down and I went elsewhere. I've unlocked Amius, so we might try to do Amius tonight if I've got time. But yeah, no, I'm really pushed. 12, 13, and 14 are really bad. Are they? 12's pretty okay for me because Melga. If you haven't built a Melga makes 12 quite easier, much easier because you can cleanse, which is a big thing, right? She kind of anchors the team, which helps. And on this stage, whilst the Harem is a problem, it's not as bad as 19. This stage is not as bad as 19 because whilst they have a lot of crowd control, you can like mitigate it somewhat. It just lacks, you probably need a ghost spawn. So I'm okay for this. 13, yeah, that is nasty. But I will say that Corpse Collect is pretty good for 13 because of the heal reduction. Right, once they've done their double cleanse, you can put down a heal reduction on all enemies. This is pretty good. And then just try to survive. The hardest part here will be surviving. Nazana's a good idea. Probably something like a Husk combo. Rhine Beast is not a bad shout if you just need someone to heal. Could give you some clutch revives as well. But yeah, I'm planning on using Corpse Collect if I do that. And 14... I got Fushan, so I got Fushan and Basilisk. And honestly, this guy's really big for 14. If you haven't got him, he's a freebie one. Takes you a while to get him in the Doom Tower, but he is really good because he is at least a healer because he can equalize and he has got a lot of crowd control. So he makes this so much easier. So 14 is not a problem for me. I'll breeze through 14. You stuck at S6. Double Creodon. The best thing about this weekend... do you know what the best thing about this weekend is? I finally got a second Daithy. I can run double Daithy now. I don't know why I burnt a Daithy into a +1. That was a mistake. Never do that again. Always have 2 Daithys. Double Daithy is an answer to many problems. So that's actually one of the... It's basically like pulling a legendary in my opinion. Like for my level of account where it's like I've got legendaries coming out of my ears, getting a second Mr. Daithy is as good as getting a legendary champion because of the power that he gives you in some of these Sintrano stages. So you want to see my Michinaki build? He is in 6 pieces of Merciless, 2 pieces of Slayer, just because we've got a really, really good Slayer. Oh, I made this earlier from a Chaos Ore. I mean, it's the rest of the stuff is terrible, but I mean, it's at least attack, quad, roll, speed. Yeah, I made this earlier. Chaos Ore. Never... I really want to go back to the days when people were like, these pieces are terrible. I'm like, these have given me some of my best pieces on my account. Gotta love a Chaos Ore. So, hey, Drayden. Hey, Wraith of Car. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so Mr. Rider Daithy... Whoa, zoomed in. Mr. Rider Daithy... Michinaki is in full lethal here. Some optimizations I still need to do. Like, I still need to, you know, Chaos Dust this, really, to crit damage. It's going to be a bit of a pain. So, he's lacking a bit of crit damage at the moment. But he's at 104%, 310 crit damage, 228 speed and defense. I only really use him in Hydra, so he's built around the Hydra with all my different bonuses from Hydra. Once I get him in this, that'll be 12% more crit damage. And we've got a bit more defense to get. Like, this could be defense, this could be defense. Defense, the rest of his stuff is good. So it's just that amulet I need to refine. So yeah. Give you a Trunder. Honestly, I think the new Trunder will be quite good for Arena. In the right setup. She's going to be niche, but in the right setup, I think she'll be quite good. So... So yeah, that's my opinion with her. I don't know necessarily she's going to be... Honestly, after seeing the performances of Onryo, quite frankly, I think Onryo is going to become the new #1. Because the main issues that people are going to have with Trunda is consistency and having to delay her A2. Because obviously you can only do it... You can only do it every, once all the Serpent's Wills have dropped off. So there's a potential that Onryo, because of his consistency, as in Onryo effectively does it all the time with 100% ignore defense, you potentially you still need ignore defense on his A1, because if you're going to pair it with the Teox, you still need ignore defense, right? The A3 is great. You don't need it for the A3, but the A1 you do. This is going to hit really, really hard because it's... Remember what we said about multipliers with multipliers, okay? If you can get your initial base up to 100% bonus and then you do 25% of that damage, then 25% of that damage is going to get decapitation, Tashiro, feral buffs, protection buffs, feral debuff damage. If he's... I don't think he can debuff, so he can't get Wrath, unfortunately, but if you've got Heavencast, that's another multiplier. If you've got Decapitation, that's another multiplier. All these multipliers all stack up, and this 25% does just crazy amounts. But here's the crazy thing about him. Some people have been confused what's going on. If you attack one enemy, okay, the first hit triggers the passive. But this is a second hit. So the second hit will trigger a hex component on the first one you've hit, and then the second hit here will trigger it again, which triggers it here. So in essence, when I attack one head, I'm getting 2 hits plus 4 hex procs, because I'm getting 1 hex proc from every single one of these from 3 other heads. So I'm effectively hitting the same head 8 times. Not to mention the fact that all the other heads are getting 25% of the damage twice, which is then scaling and multiplying and rescaling and multiplying. So effectively, the hex on the A1 is getting double the amount of damage. They just will not learn. Like, I don't understand how it's so difficult for me to get across to them that this mechanic is fundamentally flawed in a game that is 6 years old when they haven't controlled multipliers. Okay, multiplying multipliers is a bad road to go down unless you have extremely good, careful control of your game. If you can control all of the multipliers and put safety checks in, it's not a problem. But when you have multipliers that multiply upon themselves, the exponential nature of the next multiplier and the multiplier on top of that means that it doesn't matter whether this did 10%. This is still going to do a lot more damage than the first hit, because you can re-multiply it all. It doesn't even need to critically hit, because it re-multiplies everything other than crit damage. So, like I keep saying, and I know people hate me for it because they'll call me unfun and trying to break the game, the solution to these secondary damage sources is it has to do fixed damage. It does 25% of that damage fixed. 0% unvariable, unscalable. Exactly how Akimtum does it. It's exactly how Akimtum does it. He goes with his passive. Whenever a poison is triggered on one enemy, any hexed enemy receives 100% of that poison damage. It's true damage and it's fixed, which means that it's always 100%. That's the way it should be. That way then, you don't get these like exploitive cycles of damage. That's the solution. So if he hits for 1.5 million on the first hit, then the second hit should literally just do 375,000 fixed. No bonuses, no extras, no... It can ignore it should ignore defense, that's fine, because you want to be doing 25% of that damage. No bonuses, no extras, no modifiers. Fixed. That will fix Siegfried, Wukong, it'll fix Trunda, it'll fix Onryo, it'll fix Baron, it'll fix all of them. And that principle fixes it for the future. It doesn't make him a terrible champion because you're still doing 25% extra damage every single time you hit. It still makes him amazing. It just doesn't make him easily the most exploitable champion in the game. That's just so easy. I just don't understand why. Like, you know, they're sitting there saying, well, if we don't think Trund is going to be fixed, I can tell you it's not going to be fixed without even playing it. I don't even need you to put the buffs live for me to tell you straight away, player him, that you have not fixed Trunda. Because effectively, people will just find another way to exploit the broken mechanic. Because you didn't fix the mechanic, you just tried to move Trunda into a more arena setting. Which I appreciate, by the way. I really like the changes to her A3 and her passive. I think those are really good for her. I always did wonder why Trunda, for whatever reason, has like this resistance passive. I don't really understand that. She gets more resistance when the enemy can't take a turn. I'm like, do I really care? No. So I like the fact they've changed this to attack. I think it's great. I think it's really good. And I like the fact that they've made this easier to enable. The only weird thing about this is if they're not under stone skin, then you're not going to get the second hit, which kind of nerfs the damage at the moment if you want the burn in the new build. But if they are under stone skin or they have high resistance, then you still get your double hit. So it's actually quite good because if they're tanky and high resist, they get double hits, so they take more damage. If they're not, they get stunned and burned. It's pretty fair trade. You know, it's a fair thing to add. Yes, you got polymorph. We always know that polymorph's a problem, but I do think the passive and the A3 will make her more considerably stronger in Arena. The only downside is she's magic, and we know the abusers of Arena that are not Void are Ultimate Death Knight and Harima, and both of them are Force. And Galathir is a big problem, so she's going to struggle into some teams. But she's probably like the next best thing to Sulfurion and Gizmak for a burn strat, right? Of all the burners in the game, she'll probably be the third option if you haven't got a Gizmak or a Sulfurion. Because she's just going to be able to bring lots of damage. And I think as well, when you do her A3 double hit with the 50% in the skill and a 6-star cracking roots, I think you can stack the two multipliers together to be able to like even if you don't activate the burn, you'll break the stone skins with her A3. Especially on squishy or low HP champions, I think she will be able to break through. Like, I've got a 6-star Trunda at the moment. If I decide not to run Trunda anymore in Hydra, right? If she does die in Hydra, I'm actually not disappointed because the change will allow me to take her out of Crushing Rend. And if I put her into Cracking Roots, it gives me 100% more damage plus her other one. And it's not 150%. It's not going to be like they're additive. They're going to be separate multipliers, okay? So if I hit for 1,000, right? Simple math here. We'll do a little bit of math before we start doing everything else that I want to do today. Some simple math. So because it's a separate multiplier, it's a separate skill. If I'm doing, say like she hits for 25,000, okay? Well, the base, if it was combined, it would be 150%, so 2.5. Okay, that's how much it would be. So you would gain a damage increase of 37,500. But it's not, right? It is not this. What it actually is going to be this times times 2 for cracking roots, times 1.5 for the new A3, which is actually a lot stronger, right? You're actually gaining effectively double the damage, where here you're only gaining 1.5. Okay, so it's a lot stronger when you do it with this. It's a pretty significant difference. It's not additive. They're separate multipliers. So I actually think her A3 with a 6-star cracking roots could pump through Stone Skin quite comfortably. Hey YST, how's it going, my friend? You might not build lots of accuracy. Like, I think if you've got the 5-star soul for her, then you get 75 built in. And what you got to remember is she does have crazy strong base stuff. So, like, I've not really built... Like, I've got some artifacts that have built resistance. But if you look, I've decked her out in full damage. Right, I haven't gone looking for resistance. I've got a couple of rolls here or there. But she's pretty much in full damage, and look what she's got, because she has such a high base resistance. It's crazy. She gets so much from just base resistance. that she generally is quite difficult to kill. A very good base HP as well. Dwarves just have good base resistance. I don't really know why, but they do. So with this, you can see I've not really put any focus on any sort of accuracy. I'm already at 238. If you put it with someone like Marius, you get increased accuracy. That's probably enough to get your burns out, right? But even if you don't get your burns out, you've got a double hit that's going to hit insanely hard. That's why I think it's quite nice. It's not like there's, oh, I have to go one way to make it work. It's like, well, I can either burn you, and if I burn you, well, that's going to hurt your stone skin. Or if I can't burn you, I'll double hit you, and then I will break your stone skin. Or if you don't have stone skin, and I burn you, I stun you, so you don't even get a turn. The only thing you need to worry about is, of course, polymorph. That's the only thing that really kind of stops you. But there are solutions to that. Pinpoint, you could run high resistance. There's lots of different things, so... And the passive gives her, like, the change to the passive might not sound like a lot, but I don't think people have realized how big a change that is. If she lands burn on 4 enemies, it'll recalculate, okay? So if it attacks all enemies once and it places 4 burns, that means she gains 40% more attack for the second attack, and it recalculates the second attack before it does that. So you'll effectively get your passive for the second hit. 40% is effectively a 40% damage boost. So you know how I was saying about cracking roots? Well, we go, okay, well now, if I hit 2,500 on my first hit, my second hit now is going to hit 40% more. So now I'm doing 3.2 times the damage of my first hit when I have cracking roots and when I have the A3. So it's like, there's another multiplier there. And if she's in protection, say like you've got her with Shuja and you've given her an extra turn, that's like 3 buffs. Well, now I can get her with 1.15. That's a bonus multiplier. Now we're at 3.83. See how you can stack these things, right? So I actually think her arena viability could be quite good. It could be quite strong. Nature's Wrath compared to Crushing Rend. Nature's Wrath is probably going to be better. It depends, right? You go Crushing Rend if you want to get the better up front. But you don't need Crushing Rend now for her A3. Her second hit on her A2 when they rework it. The second hit will hit true damage with just gear. Because you'll have 20% area bonuses, 50% base, that's 70%. You just need 30%. You can achieve that with a Merciless set. Easily. Lethal Cruel. Easily. So she doesn't need the Crushing Rend like she currently does. She has no ignore defense right now, so she needs the Crushing Rend. The difference is, though, if you want that bigger upfront hit, you need the Crushing Rend. If you don't, then you could decide to go Wrath and try and like maximize it. At some point, I will do the math to work it out. When I actually do a proper calculation of the first one, I'll wait for the change, though, so I get the full coded modifications. I'll wait for the change, and then I'll do the comparison. Is it better to go Nature's Wrath or not? And I can also test to make sure that my theory is correct. But because they've confirmed that over damage is calculated, I still think Trunda, along with Onryo, will be the #1 teams. All I think they've done with Hydra is just made it so much more complicated for the beginner in Hydra. And the Krakens that were abusing Hydra are basically in a position where the teams that they probably have got now will still be their best teams that they could possibly run. That it's not particularly going to change anything. It's not like they're going to have to rebuild anything. It'll just be the damage is lower. Fine. Okay, they can run them slightly slower, but slightly quicker because they only have to do 1,000 turns. Fine. But the people that are most affected by these modifications are going to be the people either just making their first steps into Hydra or the people that struggle to hit 1.2 billion because their damage is going to get severely hampered. The people that were running permataunt teams. You know, I know that the Yannicka team's a different topic, but I'm not even talking about the Yannicka teams. I'm talking about the people that were running the original permataunt, the Emic Nia kind of combo where you would use permataunt. It wasn't crazy damage. I think I got to like 300 million with it. Like, those teams are dead. So I think that's all they've done. They've literally just hurt all of the people that struggle in Hydra, and the Kraken's just like, nah, I'll just run the same team. What does it really matter? Does the passive stack with stun gear? Probably, yeah. It'll probably be on application. I'll have to check, but I would imagine it'll be on application. Oh god, Odin's being a pain. It'll stack on her total in battle, Drayden. So what it'll do is it will probably record her attack when she enters battle, and that'll be the value. Okay? So if you've got like 8,000 attack going into battle, it'll be based on 8,000, and then increase attack will be based on the total battle after the passive is included. So it's exponentially crazy. It's so strong. Oh god. Do I get a turn before this Armand's just wrecks me? We're in the land of Armand's. Do we kill Armand's before he kills me? That's the real question. I think we'll be fine because we got Sulfur in and we got thing. I should check the audio. Turn this down a bit. There you go. What's Newt's best blessing for 6-star? Soul Reap. Soul Reap is Newt's best one because it gives you 10% more max HP. Technically, you don't really need more than a 4-star Newt. Newt's a bit weird in the sense that you can't get more than 10% max HP on high-end content anyway, so you don't really care about 14%, but you do want the extra 2% trigger. So you kind of want 5-star to get the extra 2%, but you don't actually need the 5-star because 8% is pretty much all you can do, so you don't really gain an awful lot. It's a bit of a weird place to be. Like, I've had the 5-star Newt from time to time come up in the market. I'm like, should I? I'm like, but I'm only buying 2%. I'm not actually buying, like, 6% because I can't do more than 10% anyway. And that's not his A3. I'm talking about the fact that the boss will cap the Soul Reap damage at 10% because it's max HP, and bosses will not accept more than 10%, so it's kind of annoying. Why does every CC got this new Lego? I do not know. This is going around a lot. I mean, the odds are pretty low. Maybe they just got lucky. Maybe all of them saved up the mercies. I don't really know. But a lot of them did. Right, so what is the goal today? Basically, I want to rebuild all of my teams around Marius. And Marius is just like a god now. Because I didn't realize that Marius can effectively one-shot the Fire Knight 10 hard waves. And when I mean one-shot it, I mean, I think he when I finish rebuilding him, he can one-shot it. Right now, I've had a problem where I've never been able to speed up Marius. Because I've had this problem in Sand Devil that I can't go faster than 239. Because that would break my Sand Devil team. Because I was using Adeline. Adeline puts decreased speed, which means I can't have him go before the boss goes. And the reason why is the boss would effectively wake up, and then when the boss wakes up, he basically fills his turn meter and then one-shots me with Feasting Swarm. So I've always had this problem where it's like I can't really go faster because I've been using Adeline, but here's where it comes in handy. We've got YST's favorite champion, who's very happy when I mentioned this name, Cornelia. Okay, pretty good alternative to Adeline. It's not ever going to be as good as Siphi, because we know Siphi is the only one that you can reliably use without having a 3% issue. But she is as good as Adeline, but what she doesn't have is decreased speed, which means that if I just simply take Adeline out and put Cornelia in, I effectively gain the ability to go all the way up to 269 speed. I think that's what it was. Let's double check. I've got it in my tick rate calculator. I worked it out the other day. That's not the right one. Which one is it? No. No. This one. Yes. So right now, if we put Cornelia in, we're not going to debuff it, right? So I can go and take Marius all the way up to 269 speed. But if I put him at 270, you'll see that it breaks. Right? It breaks this combo because he effectively is not taking a turn there because he's technically 271, right? It would not allow it. But if I was doing it in the old system, Cornelia would be Adeline, and she'd put basically a 30% debuff on, and you see, it forced me to basically run a slower Marius. Now, I don't want to run a slow Marius, and ironically, I don't even need to run that slow. I can run significantly faster and still have an insane build. So that's what I want to do. I want to rebuild him, and then what I want to do is look at how we can speed tune an incredibly fast Fire Knight team. Now, the only annoying thing that I have right now is I kind of want to use Freya and Fire Knight, but I don't want to summon Freya now because it's absolutely worthless in terms of value. Hey, Shooter. It's absolutely worthless in value. But then again, I actually think maybe I should prioritize it for Arena. Because I actually think, and I tried to say this, I know what I should do, right? I can't, I will never do it, but there's a particular champion that makes her passive so much better. Because what is the number one problem with her passive? Right? Her number one problem with her passive. The problem is multi-hitters. That's her number one problem. In the sense that if someone was to hit someone twice, double hit, like on Rio or anything like that, they just die straight away. It's effectively a no-graze passive. Okay? Here's the thing. If I was to simply just use the champion that I never will ever use other than Emius, this kind of gives her 2 hits in one. Because if they double hit, they can't kill you unless they triple hit. So it really pushes the potential champions that can kill your ally out the window. So if you have Freya, I do think there's quite a strong meta because you go double force, so it doubles down on the force. Like if you go something like Freya, Harima, Ultimate Death Knight, it's very hard to kill someone. Incredibly hard. And she's going to keep shielding. She's going to keep growing her defense, right? Don't forget, this is going to stack her defense. And her shield is based on defense. You can build a pretty significant shield. Let me check what her shield multiplier is. Freya, Fate Weaver. By the way, guys, if you ever want to know what shield multipliers are, they're now on the website. One of the new features I added recently. So you can always come and see what any bomb or shield multiplier is on the website. You can also buy a cruise, apparently, with today's latest adverts on the ads. That's far better than some of the other crazy stuff they give me. So 2.5 times defense is a pretty good, and it's also 10% of target's max HP. So in essence, if I'm multiplying my defense by 50%, that's in essence is giving me 1.5 times more of my shield. So it turns into a 3.75 multiplier, give or take. It's a bit of a bad way of doing maths, but that's what I'm trying to say, is it really ramps the shield up to a good value. And you're getting the target max HP with it. So if you're building them with, like, put it with Narcissus, Ancora, Freya, Ultimate Death Knight is horrific to fight against. Absolutely horrific. Why? Because you can't kill anyone. Because if you try to kill Ancora, she'll stop it with an Ultimate Death Knight will give her 2 hits. Gives instant turn to people. So if you give an instant turn to Narcissus, you're in trouble. You also get a cleanse. So you've got double cleanse, so it stops bomb champions. And you get a 20% turn meter fill. And you get an increased defense for everyone as well. She's better than you think. Like, she's better. She doesn't cast a shield. It's a visual bug. I can tell you she does increase defense and shield because it's by the order in which it's put into the game code, Darky. If it looks like she's doing one way or the other, that's visual. But the actual code shows it in order. Because I can check in the code order, right? Whenever I look at the code, they list the effects in order, and it's basically like a linear progress, like a website really. You can you read down the list. It goes increased defense, then shield. So 100% increased defense counts. So long as there's no server-side madness going on, which, to be honest, it wouldn't be because it runs off the client, so. Yeah, I don't know why we didn't have Fenrir from Asgard. It was kind of an obvious one, right? Or Cerberus. You could have done both. Or is Cerberus? No, Cerberus is Greek. What am I talking about? That's Greek. Yeah, Fenrir is the one they could have done. It was a missed shot. It totally was. So yeah, so you can get a pretty chunky shield, and you also get this passive that gives an instant turn. And the difference between instant turn and extra turn is instant turn will stop an extra turn from happening. So for example, if you've got Jorgid that uses A3 and it blocks it, this will go before Jorgid gets a turn. Whereas Lydia, for example, I don't think does. I think she basically has to wait for the enemy to complete their turns before she gets the turn with extra turn. So instant turn basically allows you to interrupt. With build a second Wallmaster for Hydra now, just in power. I would wait until the update, Fat Tuna. I would just hold on to it and see what happens. Let the dust settle. So yeah, so for Fire Knight, I was kind of like... The reason why I was thinking for Fire Knight she's quite good is you get the shield, which means you get some survival. If he pops the shield, you could run it in Faultless Defense with increased defense. Don't know if that would be possible because the shield might be too big. And then you get the cleanse afterwards to get rid of the decreased speed and decreased defense. So I was thinking that could be a potential use. But I also have Martyr. And Martyr would be a better use. Okay. So going back to the times that I think I can get a really, really, really fast Fire Knight team by basically running something like this. Something like that. Because that would basically give me plenty of attacks, and we get like... I'd have to swap Martyr to Faultless Defense. I need a shield in here, and I could run Martyr with a shield set, or I could just bring someone else with a shield. Don't know. Haven't decided. I don't know whether I run a fifth person and if I do, who it is. How long do you think Freya will stay strong? I don't believe it'll be for long with time invest money. I mean, Newt's still strong. He's been out for a year. We've got Trunda. She's been out for 4 years. She's still strong. Narcissus has been out for 7 months. It's still strong. I don't think she'll go, like, she's not like she's strong right now. She's just, I think, with the right setup, pretty good. So, yeah, but if you go raw, you'll die, Nobo. You need shield, right? You need it to cancel the shield. But if you go raw, you'll just die. Now, ideally, this is where I need to check with Marius' speed. So if I run 269 speed, Marius is going to get a turn before. So he'll have to go faster than her. And then she will need to put the defense up to make it work. But I might even have to slow Newt down. So, because obviously all the hits that I do to the boss will weaken the boss's attack, which means the shield will be diminished. So, yeah, it's not like I'm already doing it, Shooter. I'm doing Zenogre, Farrakhan, Newt, Mikage, and I have Neldor. Neldor's in my team at the moment. So, it's just, I'm trying to figure out in my brain, one, who I run as fifth, and two, how fast I can make Marius and Newt go without it being a problem. Because the thing is, I don't want him to go too fast, because it just eats turns. I think I can get a really, really fast team. I might just have to slow them down, but I don't want to slow Newt down because I kind of like how fast he is. So, I just need to figure out... Is there a way to beat 10 hard without Newt? Well, you kind of need a 4th Marius to get him, so... Nah, my Newt is like 314. It's fine. So what we'll do first is we'll have a look at what we can do with Marius. That's the first step. We'll have a look at what we can do with Marius. Now, I don't have much silver, so that's a bit of a problem. But we do have a free regearing thing that I can go get from Centranos. So there's that. But what we'll do first is we'll have a look to see what we can get with Marius. Yeah, well, I mean, this is a universal build, Lillian. It's not like I'm going to lock him into Fire Knight hard. I'm almost building him for everywhere else. It's just if I can use him on there in the same build, then it's probably better, right? Hey, Spartacus. Yeah, 3 regains in 3 days, but I can use them on all the 1-hour ones, so... So let's see. Configure 1. We will use all the pieces we've got. Absolutely makes sense to use support and defense. We could do Sand Devil. That's fine because we don't have any area bonuses, I believe, in Sand Devil. So it's clean to use. Lovely. Gives us a bit of targeting stats. So I've got 265 here. We're going to get rid of this. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of that. Now, I'm pretty sure he has the best accessories available. The only thing that's annoying is I can't give him a defense ring because I don't have a better Slayer defense ring, and I will absolutely not sacrifice a 9-piece Slayer for a better ring. It's just not worth it right now. So there's another Slayer set that comes up. I will absolutely chase it. If I wasn't so ill during the Adventurers deck, I would have done that for the Adventurers deck, but I was just too ill, so... Okay, sets. 9-piece Slayer. We'll do some glyphing here, some craziness. It's fine. Let's see what we can get then. Can you show just how fast you Sand Devil? Yeah, I'll show the Sand Devil team once I finish building this. Okay, so I can get 275 speed, 396% crit damage in full Slayer. Well, you know, with the resistance chest as well, yeah, because I have no defense percent chests in I have no defense percent chests in Slayer. That's why you'll find it'll always recommend something else because I just don't have it. So the only thing that's annoying me is I really don't, and this is kind of like an OCD thing. The fact I lose 400% triggers me because this obviously would be the better build in terms of like. Let me just see the view cards. Like, how much damage we're looking. Like, this is slightly better for the A1, but weaker for the A2, which is somewhat of a better build. Because A1 is quite important, but it's very, very small differences. Alex D, welcome back to the minions. Thank you so much. Welcome. It's kind of triggering that I can't get another 2% crit damage. That is really triggering. What chest is Marius currently wearing? Right now he's in an Axie chest, I believe. What's the difference? Oh, it's just got no speed is all. What if I drop that and I put it up to like 8? There we go. That's what I want. I want the 400%. Okay, this would be the better one because I prefer the accuracy. I want the 400%. I'm greedy right now. I'm very greedy. The chance of me getting +8 on everything is very, very hard. But I'm greedy. I want the 400%. So it's kind of like, I feel like the top one is kind of annoying because you get 5%. This one would be better. We lose a bit of resistance, and we lose a bit of accuracy, but we can always glyph that back. But we gain a bit more speed. Okay, so like take Garrel's boots and Garrel's helm. Would give us 400% pure, 27 speed. Granted, I would need to glyph the crap out of all of my gear. So I got a +7 right now on the weapon. I've got a +4 on the shield. That's not going to be good. I've got nothing on the gloves. I don't need anything on the chest. I'd have to switch the boots out to something else. The Actually, do you know what? It's not too bad. All it would need is I'd lose 1 speed on the weapon, and I would need to find 4 speed on the shield. But if I actually go and find Garrel's helm, maybe it's not too difficult. What has Garrel got? So I'd need to find 4 speed on Garrel's helm. And I would need to find... I'd need to basically glyph out speed. I'd have to basically remove the attack percent for speed on Garrel's boots if I did it. For the 400. It's like, I don't really know if the OCD is worth it to basically break a perfect Slayer boot and a perfect Slayer helm just to get, like, obviously I don't have to do the helm, but the boot would I'd have to take from attack percent 20%. I'm like, I don't know. So this would basically me be breaking Garrel just to make 2% crit damage. I don't know if that's worth it. I feel like that is me being OCD. No, because I use him in PvE, Devilfish, right? So in PvE, crit damage is the most important stat because it's so incredibly hard to hit caps. So I don't build him for PvP. I build him for PvP. I build him for PvE. And then I use him in PvP with what he's got. To be honest, he doesn't really need that much defense to really whack people. Hey, KZ. Yeah, he's 9 out of 9 Slayer. Doing anything other than Slayer and Marius is a mistake. How much does he need? Minimum 450% crit damage. Amir. Minimum. Trust me, whenever there's a conversation with Marius, like, maybe I should drop crit damage, whack yourself against the wall, break your head, and go back and remember crit damage. This is only for PvE, though, right? If you're going to run PvP, then there would be a different balance, because you wouldn't need as much crit damage. But in order for me to hit cap, I need to be able to do a lot, right? I need a lot of crit damage. We're talking tons. I'm not talking a little bit of amount. Like, I'll show you how much you need. It's crazy amounts. Let's see. Let me find the spreadsheet. Just to give you some context here of how much crit damage you need. Okay. If I pick the decay head and I have a 6th stacked cruelty, which is very difficult to do most of the time, right? And I have suffering head out, then in order for Marius, right? In order for Marius to hit critical, to basically hit cap, and we are talking with already having 30% ignore defense. Okay, so maybe we have area bonuses, so it goes up to 50%. Then in order for a Slayer Marius with just area bonuses and the Slayer bonus to hit ignore defense, to hit the nightmare cap of decay head, not even the suffering head, the decay head, you need 605% crit damage, right? You need this much. That is with a stacked cruelty, and with weaken, and with decreased defense, and with probably as good ignore defense as you can get, because he doesn't have any ignore defense. It's very, very difficult to do it. So whenever you're using Marius in PvE, the argument should never be, do I get more defense? It should always, always, always be, get more crit damage. How much with Helm Smasher? Well, that would be 25% more, so it would go up to 75. 444% crit damage. Hello, little monkey. Yes, it could, Alex. Hegemon is great for that kind of stuff. Crushing Rend? I mean, yeah, if you put Crushing Rend, then you're going to get 31%, so it'll put you into, you'll do true damage then. But if you just did it without Cruelty, you'd be at 5, and then we put it back on, which would be 6, 7, 8, 81%. Even with Crushing Rend, you're still going to need 410% crit damage. unless you run Helm Smasher and then you get max hit, but that's not going to happen at all 3 hits. So that's why I say to people with Marius, it is always a case, no matter what you do, you always need more crit damage. Always need more crit damage. The only place where you don't is if you don't use him in PvE, which is crazy because he's so strong, and you use him purely for arena, then you can absolutely balance it on defense and crit damage, right? Then you would go and put more defense. But I'll be honest, if you want to use him properly and you want to use him in PvP, you need more crit damage. Always more crit damage. All the time. Same with the Krizia, Wallmaster, look, they're all the same. Wallmaster. Now, the only thing with the Krizia is some of her abilities don't require it because of the nature of them, right? Her A3 doesn't require as much because of the multipliers, right? Because they're single target. But her AoE as well. And the reason why it's the Suffering Head, right? If the Suffering Head wasn't there, it brings the numbers down quite a bit. And also it's AoE, which means they get penalized quite hard. That added with the fact that multipliers are only 3 and 3.5%. Makes it really, really difficult. But keep in mind, that was with a rank 6 cruelty. If you don't have any cruelty, then it goes up even higher. Look at the difference now, right? Even if I run a full Crushing Rend Marius, I still need 437% because the cruelty has not kicked in because I don't have any. So whenever you hear the conversation of, you know, oh, how much crit damage do I need from Marius? You don't even need to calculate it. The answer is more. Just more. That is the answer to that question. If you need crit, if you want to know how much crit damage Marius needs for PvE content, more. Absolutely. Now, hard mode dungeons is a little bit different. Like if we look at him for Fire Knight, because you don't have so much penalties, it's easier to run. Okay, so like for example, if I'm looking in Fire Knight, which we were talking about today, if I have my area bonuses up, then you know I can get away with a lot less because I don't have the AoE penalty. I can put, you know, some cruelty out there. Also, you've got the ability for the awakened passive bonus. So when I'm fighting the boss, for example, if I have a rank 4 Marius, which I have right now, it massively improves the value. So in PvE, if I'm running just 20% area bonuses and a 4-star Marius and Slayer, and I've got decreased defense and weaken on the boss, I only need 234%. It's much easier. But in Hydra, where his best place for damage output is more than anything else, you need more. Just more. Always more. There'll never be a situation where you don't want more. You know, even this, right? For example, if you weren't running any ignore defense sets, just with a rank 4, you need 323%. That's with weaken and decreased defense out, of course. Where would you rank Teox damage in the game? Number 1. Teox is the strongest damage dealer in the game in terms of abilities, pretty much. Just because I say that, assuming you can get debuffs. If you can debuff a target with 10 debuffs, not much can compete with him. Because he triggers the ally attack, which means you automatically get double the dose of damage, So, yeah. Does Sify need crit rate? No. She doesn't. Speed resistance. What's the minimum defense needed to have crit damage ratio balanced? There is no minimum. It's going to depend on how you do it. Like, so for example, if I go back to this and I pick Auric Lance, then it's going to basically give me a different balance. Look, see what I mean? It's going to give me a different balance, Auric Lance. Why? Because it's not max HP, so it doesn't prioritize crit damage. So you see how it's changed the balance out? Dropped me down to 354. I've lost 48% crit damage, but it's given me 2.3k defense because I picked the A1, which is the defense skill. But keep in mind, the defense, I don't think you get a defense multiplier. Maybe you do. But if you do, it's very, very small. So defense, on the A3, max HP is the value you want for bosses, right? So the question really here is, do I break? It's the boot question more than anything else. That's what I'm questioning here is the boot question, which is, do I break a perfectly attack percentage roll boot just to get 2% crit damage? I'll be honest, the 400% is a nice round sweet number, and it's bothering me. Like if I don't do this, then I'll end up with this kind of thing, right? It's probably that. That's the other option. So, I don't know. It's like the 398% is triggering me. It's really triggering me. I just wanted above 400. This one's crazy. Look at it, 275 speed. It's like... It's too fast though, that's the problem. It's actually... this is the opposite problem. It's way too fast. But it is kind of crazy. It's just incredibly fast and I cannot support that kind of speed. So it would have to be something like... you know, this. It's using that weapon. It's kind of different. I had a different one. I think 270 is even too fast. Like both of these use the resist chest as well. I'd rather use the Axie chest, if I'm being honest. So I'm going to just require a 280. I'd rather use the Axie chest because that's more valuable to him than the resistance. Oh, let's find different ones. Oh, wow. That was an interesting one. Trund is not useless, Alex. Trund is really, really good. I don't think she's useless at all. I think she's solid. Oh, 399 would trigger me so much. I think that's where we were at before. Mind you, I'm going to have to break one of the boots anyway. I've just realized this. I'm going to have to break, whether it be Garrel's boots or his boots, I'm going to have to break one of them. Let me take this back out. Optimize. Go. Because right now he's wearing 12% boots. 20% boots. So I'm going to have to break one of them regardless to get the speed. It's whether or not I break hers or I break his. So maybe we should just play some re-rolling bingo, I guess. Like, let's see. Which one do we want to roll first? One of them has to go. One of them can't. They can't both stay defense percent and attack percent. So, I guess we pick our poison. Do I even have dust? I do. I do have dust. Which one's the... So, first thing, which one's the most expensive? That's already done 4. His one is done 0. So, the cheapest one would be to do the ones he's already wearing. But that would get me less than 400%. I will be honest, I don't use Garrel Smash an awful lot these days. The only ways I use her is just when I need to use her in Baron type stuff. I don't really use Garrel anyway, so... But it is far cheaper to try and re-roll the Slayer boots that Marius has at the moment. But I would lose the 400%. So because I'm crazy, I think I want to go for the 400%. I don't really use Carol anyway. I'm being honest. I just don't use her anyway. At the moment. Certainly not anywhere that losing 20% attack would be a problem. To me. Right? 20% attack is not the end of the world, right? How much does she lose if I lose 20% attack? Like 1608, so I lose like 300 attack. Well, it's not the end of the world. Can always get it back. We've decided. It's going to take 7, but I have faith. This is going to give me speed. I have faith. It's going to give me speed. It's going to give me speed. Mother trucker. Didn't give me speed. Let's get some dust quickly. I need to use my other team. Where is my other team? Adeline. There. Got to prioritize your best gear on the champions you use the most. That's the way I look at it. Okay. Yeah, the Sand Devil tomorrow, but I'm not going to wait. I don't wait for these things. I'll just burn more gems if I have to for tomorrow. Why I have 2 teams? Because I want to build. That's the point of what we're trying to do here, right? What we're trying to do right now is we're trying to build we're trying to rebuild Marius so that he can go faster, and then we're going to bring in Cornelia to replace Adlin so that he's able to go faster in this team. Right now he's hard capped. I don't want him to be hard capped because it's a problem. If I can make him faster everywhere, he becomes a bit of a wave clearer. So 43 rolls. Good God, man. Stop. Stop while you're ahead. Unless that is like the world's best piece. You've got to stop. I have no idea. I don't know anything about the test server these days. I don't have any insights. Not stopping. You are crazy. Why Cornelia? Because she's asleep. She does sleep, so. It's a rare chest. Why? Please. Why? Why? You're stressing me out here. Right, how much dust did I need for this? Garrel. 9. Come on. Speed. I have faith. Speed. Oh. I'm going to live to regret this. This is... do you know what? If I can get 400% crit damage at 266 speed, it is worth every gem on my account. This is how OCD I am about this 400%. I'm so OCD about it that I want a 400% nice clean run. I know this is wasting a lot of energy. Get it. Maybe, tell you what we'll do. Maybe we'll just swap it for now. And we'll get the 12 speed tomorrow. That's probably the better way. Because this is wasting points that I could be getting tomorrow. And he doesn't need to be like... He doesn't need the 12 speed right now. So let's do that. Let's go to Marius. First things first. Let's get a free regearing. Because we're going to use this. Let's just do this. Yeah, I'm wasting. So I'm just gonna get the build and then put it right. Nice thing is I can save it in the optimizer, so Marius. Just remove. Continue. Lovely. And then we're going to equip. Right, so this is the new. Why is it 399%? Why? No. Why is it 399%? What have I done wrong? How is it possibly at 399%? Is it a rounding error? No. No. I've got Laura Steel. No. It's got Laura Steel. How could it be possibly... Is it just rounding the crit damage from some bonus somewhere? It's the right boot. It's the right helm as well. It's rounding... It's probably rounding this in Laura Steel, right? Because I get 30% crit damage. I'm getting effectively 4.5. It's basically 399.4%, 0.5%. And it's rounding down in raid in the game, but it's in raid it rounds up. In the optimizer, it's rounding it up. Okay, what was the other build? There was a 401% build. I want to know what that one was. There was another build that was 401%. Where was it? How do I find it again? I saw it. I know it exists. How did I get to it? Was it 260? Maybe it lost a little bit of speed. Okay, here it is. So I have to go 261 speed. So I'd lose 5 speed, but I'd gain my 400%. Let's just assume the obvious here as well. Let's just put 8% glyph for that, and then 16 glyph for accuracy. Max it all out. It's literally trolled me. So I'd have to sacrifice 5 speed. Because if I do this one... This one's... How is it 405 now? Oh, wait. I got the wrong helm. Let me do that. There we go. 400. Goddamn rounding. There's a bug. I have to figure out the bug now, why it's rounding 1%. The only thing with this build is it would require multiple +8s, where my current one would not. I don't really want to go 261 speed. But I don't want to be 399% crit damage, just triggering. Oh, I'm so triggered right now. Yeah, well, that was why I didn't go with this build originally, Shooter, because I was like, I'd have to get rid of the crit rate, and attack is useless, so what am I going to put with that in, so... Why is it? It's 300... The problem is, I know it's 399.5% probably, right? Because the only sources of crit damage that are going to be affected by Laura Steel's the 30%. So right now, I'm getting... effectively 30% from the gear. So it's, if I take 401 or 400 minus 30, it'd be 370, but it's actually 30 times 1.15. So it's, I'm getting 34.5. So I'm actually at 400.5 is the exact build I'm at. But for some reason, they've decided to round it down. And I'll tell you why they've decided to round it down, because of crit rate. I bet they applied the same philosophy with crit rate, because the problem with crit rate is you could Laura Steel yourself up to 99.5% crit rate, which means that you aren't actually 100% crit rate, which means you don't want to show 100%. So I bet they rounded the percentages down. They round everything else up, because everything else is rounded up. Oh, would I ever stream a paid takeover? I probably wouldn't do a paid takeover generally, Alex, because I'm terrible with login details. I find it very stressful. Oh man, the other build is better because it's faster. This build is better because it is faster. But I can't live with this 399. It's triggering me already. Like, I'm looking at it and it is triggering me. I cannot live with 399%. Oh. It's so annoying. I can't live with it. It's stressful. What would the version with 405 speed? I mean, I could drop. I don't want to drop any slower. I can go slower again. But I want to go faster. How annoying. How absolutely frustrating. I'm so frustrated right now. I'm so incredibly frustrated by the fact that I can't get it to exact. Like, the better build is 399 because of rounding. Not because of the rolls, because of rounding. Of all things. Maybe just sacrifice speed. Just sacrifice the speed. I can't. I just can't. I cannot deal with 399%. It will trigger me. I'll be, every single time I use Marius, I'll be thinking about the 399%. So yes, I will have to get +8 speed here. And I will have to get, like, a +8 speed here. So I'll have to get 2 perfect rolls. But that's not the end of the world. It's reasonably easy to do. It's only 5 speed. Technically, this is slow at the moment because I haven't glyphed this, right? We'll make the decision based on this. What does it roll? Mother trucker. One more. Ooh. One more. Okay, no more. What about this one? Wow, thanks, game. Still poll. This is triggering. It's triggering me. It's so triggering me. It's so I'm so triggered. What are the odds of getting 8? Normally what you have to do is go 6 star, 6 star, and you'll get 2 +3s, and then you're guaranteed a +8. The more you live with it, the less it'll be a problem. It's true. It's true. Why am I triggered? Because it's just 399. It's like watching 99% crit rate, right? Whenever you see a build and it says 99% crit rate, that's the trigger moment for me. I'm just triggered whenever I see it. It pains me. It pains me to the soul whenever I see it. Whenever I see the word 99%, it's just... Yeah, you know what I mean, Marcus? Every single time you see 399, you're like, if only I could find 1 more percent. And I literally will be going and buying every single Slayer pass going, can I find 1% crit damage just from a Marius? This would not require any... I mean, it would require me to glyph this to a higher level, of course. Like, whatever, but that's long-term goals. What do we got then? The chat has spoken. 3.99 it is. To be fair, this also takes advantage of the 5% glue. Otherwise, I'm just getting an attack, which is pointless. So, done. Use my last glyphs. Oh, that's +7. That was pretty good. This will fail. And then it'll be successful. Okay, never mind. Shit happens, you know. We can do better than that. Come on. Everyone's somewhere, basically somewhere people are crying about CVC points, and I'm like, eh. Who cares about CVC? Okay, well, that's an improvement. We'll get some more HP here. Might as well roll a HP there. Oh, we can do better than that. Come on. Oh, come on. One more. It's roll 4% over and over again. Come on. There we go. Alright. Let's get good. Nice. The flat stat rolled perfect. Player him. We need to rework this boot now, though, to twit speed. That's fine. Of all things, the flat stat blimming well rolled perfectly. Oh, we might as well, I guess, throw out a better chance there. Okay, so the good news is for Hydra, he's decent. For Sand Devil, I will probably, do you know what I'm going to do? Because I have to, because I'm this triggered by all of this. I'm that triggered. Everything is going to get one upgrade across the board so that I have 3% crit damage. So that whenever I do a video, I can pick the area bonus and it's always 400%. That's what I'm going to do, right? There you go, look. He's now 402% across the board. Problem solved. There's always a solution to every problem. That's my life story. Look, he's 400%. It was all a myth. It's all a myth. Okay, well, he's not in Doom Tower, but we don't care about that. Finite, look, 400%. It's all that matters. It's all a myth. Now all we need to do is basically get this over to speeds. These technically need to be changed, but I'm not really like super worried. It's minor. 80 defense would be nice. It's minor though. And I'll just throw more 6. This one is worth throwing more 6-star glyphs at. These two I probably will allow the 2 speed drop. It's not a problem. So final build, if I can get this up to like 7 or 8, should be like 2 to 3, like maybe 4 or 3 more speed and then 12. So about 15 more speed. So that'll take the base up to around about like 264, which is good. Which is good. No, we don't talk about the 399%. Doesn't exist anymore, okay? Doesn't exist anymore. So now that we've done that, what I should be able to do is effectively swap out Adeline, swap in Cornelia, and make Cornelia run this. And just don't use that. Now, theoretically, this should just work exactly the same way as it did before. Why didn't it work? What went wrong? What went wrong? How fast is Marius? 249 in Sand Devil. 249. Maybe he's too slow for the second time coming round at the moment. Oh, I bet he is. How fast does he need to be? 250. 255. 260. What do I have to do to beat that? 265. No, I don't think I do. Need to check the speeds here. Hang on. So 249, 307 Riho. Okay, well that's wrong. Cornelia is like 317. Newt is like 307. And she's 223. Okay, so Cornelia, Newt, Sand Devil, Marius, Nia, resets, Cornelia, Newt, Sand Devils. How much do I need to beat this? Oh, it's quite a lot. Someone else has to cut in, basically. Let me hide all these. So I just need to cut in here, basically. So let's just do that. So Cornelia, I think she is slightly faster. Cornelia, Riho, Newt, Sand Devil woke up. Then we went Marius, Nia, Cornelia, Riho, Newt, and this. So yeah, I mean, just get rid of this. Hide. See, we've got quite a big leap to get to. Why not Adeline? Because she was basically capping my speed. Now, I mean, if Newt goes 265, doesn't really solve the problem because it just moves the problem down. So that's not the solution. Unless someone makes a breakpoint. Now what we're going to do is basically see can we hit a breakpoint with some champions. Like this, see, for example, can we hit a breakpoint that allows me to get a break for, so Cornelia. I don't really want an extra turn in here because it costs me energy, but let's just see if it happens, because she can ally protect. Marius is still not jumping up. Right, because Marius is stuck down bad here. So that's not really the answer. Like, obviously if I make Marius faster than the boss, fine, but it's not going to work because I'm going to hit too many times. Marius always has to be slower than the boss. But because I haven't got a speed debuff on the boss anymore, I now need to figure out a way to... Oh, you know who the solution is. I know who the solution is. But it's going to take a couple more months to get her. The solution to all our problems is coming very soon. God damn it. This will be the solution because you get 50% turn meter fill and it would push him further up. Yeah, I need like 2 months. I think I need like a month. If we keep winning auto speed, like we get 12, right? I'm already at 58. So next siege will get me at 70. Then if we win again, it'll get me 82. Win again, 94. So I need like 3 sieges wins back to back. So if I win the next 3 sieges, we will be at... I'll get Lamasu, which is what, 6 weeks? So I need like 2 months, 2 to 3 months. And I'll have it. Well, the problem with the team was perfect The issue that I've got with the other team was it was capping my Marius at 239 speed. I want to make Marius faster. So I need to find a solution that is going to get me there. Yeah, I don't have Siffy. Yeah, I don't have Siffy, unfortunately. So the options was basically Adeline. Now we could run a Tatsu. But, because that will fill her turn meter if she places 2 debuffs. But she'll only place 1, so she'll get 10% turn meter fill. And I don't know if that really makes a difference to the problem. Because, it's not going to make a difference. I mean, the other solution is I put Marius before, but I'm pretty sure Slayer set will activate as the Slayer set will probably cause the boss to wake up. So I can't even put him before. It's got to go this way. It's got to go the way it's going. Ayla Life Braid. What does Ayla Life Braid bring? I don't think she brings a reset, does she? She doesn't bring a reset. I'm not sure what you mean. Well, that's nowhere near reliable. No, because the problem is Nia won't... I'm pretty sure there was a reason why I was using Nia. What was it? Two turns. Renegade is... 2 turns. Maybe Renegade could work. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid using Mikage because it's an extra turn. I could use Renegades. And then if I use Renegade, if Renegade will put it back to sleep because Cornelia will go again. Because it's AoE. So what if I just use Renegades? Don't need Cornelia's aura then. Because then it doesn't matter if the boss wakes up because I put sleep back on the target. So if I take out Nia... I bring in Renegade. Which one? 205 still enough? Doesn't really matter which one I bring. So long as I can... You can once it takes a turn. You can't re-sleep it within the same turn, but you can re-sleep it on the second turn. I'm pretty sure. 205 should be fine. Let's try out. I thought you could re-sleep it as long as he woke up. Oh god, I almost got triple... Oh, that sucked. We got away with it because we had a... Okay, so that doesn't work. But I could use the aura, so it depends if the aura is good enough. Now, I don't know if it will be, so let's just try out. What is the aura for her? Like 18%. Okay. Do I have a banner? No. Yes, I do. So it's actually... What is the banner that she's got? .5%, so it's 18 times 1.5. 0.75, so it's actually at 19.35. It's fun. What's her base speed? 109. Wow, her base speed's mental. Cornelia's base speed is a bit nuts, isn't it? 109 base speed. Renegades is 95. Marius is 110. Newt's 99. Riho is 105. Okay. So we'll go Cornelia, Riho, Newt, Marius. Marius is too fast now. That's the only problem is Marius is too fast with the aura, so that doesn't work. So that is not a solution to the problem. Because he can't be faster. I mean, maybe 264. 19.35. Yeah, he's too fast. Because he would end up being like 285 speed. It would be too fast. He would be too fast, basically. So right now we're going to get him to like probably 60%. So I have 40% defined. I don't even have a max HP that I can cover as another hit. Because I don't have a War Master. I don't have another Newt. I don't really have any other max HP. Cold Heart could go, but it's only 10%. It's not going to be enough. So that ain't going to do it. I mean, there is the obvious. I have no idea if it's going to work, but it's the obvious. Newt scares me sometimes. If he gets triple... So we could do increase attack, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I think... we go that. Oh, it's so close. Yeah. Soul Reap. That works. So just bin off. You. Bring in Teox. Make Teox A1. Boom, 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 boom. Save. Sleep. Double nuke. Finish off. My Newt's in Giant Slayer. Boom, boom, boom. But it's just really scary if he gets... it fails if he gets triple Giant Slayer, to be fair. Boom. 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 Soul Reap. Okay, well, when you don't sleep, though, the whole thing doesn't work. But I can't really do anything about that. I'm permanently locked by that small minor thing. I can't do anything about that one. It's always going to happen unless you have a Siffy. It'll probably fail if I don't get a decreased defense or weaken, but... or if I miss a debuff, apparently. Very close. So let's just try a different approach. Let's just let him use his A3 instead. Maybe the A3 works better because he gets increased attack. Well, Newt's gonna... oh, yeah. A3. For sure, A3. Definitely the A3 there. Cornelia's like Adeline. She places. So it doesn't really matter. She's affinity friendly. Oh man, he just kills it. 6 turns. Holy crap. Okay. Well, we lucked on to a solution to the problem. Someone earlier asked me who's the best damage dealer in the game. Slayer. Yeah, Teox. Yes. Well, how consistent is it though? Like, that's the question. Like, as long as I land all the debuffs, it's pretty consistent. I think that only did really well because I hit like triple Slayer. I had a lot of Slayer procs, yeah. But even if not, like, it's pretty good. I wonder what happens when I don't get decreased defense or weaken. But, I mean, if I just fail on a couple of them, it's not the end of the world. This is pretty consistent. I'll always hit Soul Reap with the A3. So... that works. New team. Locked in. Nice. Yeah, Riho is the best. Riho, because Teox is now in the game, Riho becomes really, really valuable. As a result of Teox. So, I mean, if I wanted to now, I could just do that. Right? I could put him in the lead to basically give him 30% more attack. Rather than defense. That might boost him. I don't really know. Let's find out. Freaking... thank you, AI battle. Ruella's the best replacement, but there really isn't one right now. She is just too good because she does it all in one hit. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. We got a lot of Slayer procs. That doesn't count. Let's try again. I know I'm doing the Sand Devil tournament before I should be doing the Sand Devil. I get it. I know I'm stupid. Boom. I just want to see what happens when I don't get a billion Slayer procs. Okay, I'm just getting a billion Slayer procs. Honestly, I'll put him in the lead. It's just better. It's just better. Okay, well, that solves that problem. Recently used, but Teox this. Teox open. First choice. First choice. Nice. New Sand Devil team. Let's just make sure it absolutely uses that because it's dumb. Oh! God! 3%. They're only available from Prisms, yes. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Prism event tomorrow, guys. I think the Odin Prism event would be likely tomorrow. Actually, the Odin event has to be tomorrow. I would be very surprised if we don't get an Odin Prism event tomorrow. Very surprised. But what I can do now is rip off some gear from Adlin. Because Adlin was rocking some of my better gear. Like, that speed, that speed, that speed. Let's just check what Cornelia's got. I did blind build Cornelia. 317. I really don't want to be using this pinpoint gear on her. Because it's better not to. And I can just, like, take some away from Cornelia now. Adlin, because I'm not using Adlin. I couldn't before because I still had to build Adlin until I could do this. So I can take that away. I can take... Can I just find Adlin's pieces? I mean, I could just swap the build. I know she's got probably a fast banner. What banner has she got? She's got a worse banner. I just don't want her holding... Like, she's currently holding my best gear. which I don't really want to hold it. I could just rebuild it. I could just put it through the optimizer. Let's do it quickly. Cornelia. I really do not want her having all the gear she's currently got. I need 317 speed. How much accuracy do I need for Sand Devil? Let's have a look. No. Like 500. Then just lean it more towards HP. It doesn't really matter. She's got the best that I can give her, pretty much. Don't really care what pieces she has, to be honest. I just need to get them. I just don't really want her having any of these sets that she's currently wearing. I'd rather do it without variable, I'd rather do it without reflex, and I'd rather do it without lethal and savage. If she could possibly do this, that would be great. Where's savage? Why can't I find savage? There's cruel. There. Alright, let's see what she finds. Perfect. 503, 317. And look, it's using gear that I'm not even using. How wonderful is that? Equipping game. Brilliant. Problem solved. Do I have to clip anything? A bit. Oh, she kind of took a helmet. I really shouldn't have given her that helmet. That helmet should not exist. Why is that not on my fastest champion? Why? How is that not on my fastest champion? Alright. Let's take out Divine Speed then. It can't come off Bellanor at the moment. Oh wait, is Adeline still locked? Probably. Yeah, she doesn't need to be locked anymore. That would help. I think I'm using Bellanor somewhere. So I think I would rather lock him out. I think he is in my event dungeon. I don't believe I'm using that Ugo for anything. Mind you, that might be in the event dungeon. One of the Ugos is in the event dungeon, and I don't know which one it is. I may have just broken it. We'll find out. Which event? What's the event dungeon team that I use now? So many teams. It's the 1-3-star. Have I broken that Ugo? Yeah, I did. That was stupid. That equip. Let's put that back on. Try that again. That's better. That's what I wanted. I mean, I really don't want a 23 speed helmet either, but I guess at some point one has to use these speed pieces. I'd prefer to use more average gear. Maybe we can find it by just moving around. It's the only downside when you have decentish gear. It just wants to use all of my fast pieces that I haven't put on my fast champions. This one's all right. Oh, look, look at it's just using all the fast pieces. But I guess at some point I have to build them fast, right? Because it's going to have to use it at some point. I can't get away with just +2s everywhere. That'll do. That'll do. Oh wait, that leaves a lot more speed glyphs. The hell? It needs a lot of speed glyphs. Can we do it without speed glyphs? Let's do that. Find it without speed glyphs. Look, there you go. It's more like it. Why is that 275? Where the hell is it finding speed from? Right. I really don't want it using my best chest in the game for speed. Can it use something other than that? That's better. I'm using 1+2. Let's do that. Perfect. Oh, that was hard work. Why did that have to be so much hard work? Whoops. Cool. Unchanged. All right. God, that did not need to be that much hard work. I'm just trying to avoid using, like, the pieces that I know I would use on other champions. Like, a quad roll or triple roll mythical. What? We're trying to talk here. I know. Making noises. I was trying to avoid basically making taking a good divine speed piece or good speed pieces. Okay, I've got one, which I would really not like to use. The only way I'd get away with this is if I find like a speed piece which doesn't have, but these are all glyphed pretty well. So like I could probably replace this if I could get a speed roll here. If I took that into a speed roll, then I can drop this down. So that's obviously something I can do. And then I can swap this out for slightly slower, so that can be used in arena. So cool. The good thing is that's done. Right, so now that we've done that, now it gives us an exploration opportunity. One thing I was experimenting with was this kind of team. We were experimenting with this kind of team. The problem I was having was he wasn't quite fast enough in this team. He's now fast enough in this team that this is not a problem. That's a bit annoying. He didn't need to do that. Now, what's irritating about this is they buffed Gergo's passive. Now they've buffed Gergo's passive. His blimmin' freeze passive is really strong. So I need to optimize this. The way to optimize this is to basically get Sulfurin setting the burn off and then Artak activating the burn. That's the key. That's what I'm trying to achieve with this team now. It's difficult with Artak's passive. And the reason why I say it's difficult with Artak's passive because his speed is very variable. I don't know if it's faster in terms of turns than just running solo Artak. It's probably not. And that is always a risk. If you get super unlucky, that is always a risk. But we can optimize. I feel like there's a team here. And my gut is telling me there's a team here. I don't want to use... I can't really get away with that. round 2, I don't want to open with that one. I want to open with that one. Because I want to basically do that into that into that. Now what the idea is, we get a big soul reap here. But we'll see how it goes. See, A1 burn. Bump, bump, bump. Should have ate. Oh, because I didn't activate it, but it's fine. I feel like there's a team here. I haven't quite mastered it. If I increase Sulfurin's resistance up, of course I can get away with it. Because what I'm trying to eliminate with my current team is the fail rate. Which is very difficult to survive. But Sulfurin has the ability to like recover. If I can get it right. Right now it's just taking a lot of turns. It's a shame we can't put like interval delays because I can finish this so much faster if I could use max HP right now. But I can't. So I don't know if it's right. But there's a team there potentially. There's a team there potentially. I just don't know if it's true. I can actually pretty much like solo out this wave as well. Which is kind of insane. I don't really need Seer anymore. I can just do this. Yeah, I can do more or less less turns. These waves are really, really hard. Because they're just really high defense. But again, like this is the problem is just slowing down. Might just be faster to run Theodore. Why is he not max HP in? This is really stupid. He's not max HP in. I just realized that. He wasn't max HP in. How dumb is that? I can do that a lot faster than that. Right now my record's like 27 seconds. So I've just been experimenting. Bump, bump, bump. 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 Of course, you use your max HP now when you don't need to. Stupid idiot. Why is he not always max HP? And it's really annoying. It's almost like he won't max HP unless he's got his A3 up, which is dumb. Like he's got max HP now. See what I mean? He's not actually max HP, and when he gets to the boss, he's dumb. He's a dumb horse. So I don't have to tell it to A1 all the time. Let's just find a team I can break it with. Which team am I no longer using? What are you? Don't know where you are. Right. First. Second. First. Second. First. Second. First. Don't use. First. Don't use. Yeah. First. Second. Let's try this one. We might need to use his A3. Not really worried about him getting low because he'll heal. But we might need to just force the activation here. It's fine. Boom, boom, boom. Just died instantly. It's funny. Okay. So I'm just experimenting with these different teams. Now, the one wave I know he definitely can clear is this. Right? He can definitely clear this wave. This is the one wave that is much easier. He can clear this with ease. So this is the plan. If I get him wave clearing like this, look how quickly he's ripped through this wave. But then obviously he's going to die here because he can't do anything. But you know what I mean. It's like... So that's why I want to use him for finite, because I think I can literally just like rip through. Now, what I will have to do is... Where is she? Mara. She's going to have to change Blessing from Polymorph to False Defense. Right? Because this is going to give me a chance to reflect. And she's currently at what? 258. So she's kind of in a good position. No shield. So what we're going to do is we're going to do blind test here, right? So we're going to have Marius. We're going to have Marta. Okay. So those are the two we definitely need. Then we need Newt. Because we need to break the shield. He's going to counterattack. And then it's a question of who do we run in the last positions? Now, we could run Cold Heart. Let's just do the math here. So we're going to reflect 5 sources of damage. It's 5 stacks. We're going to counterattack with Pony. That's 1 stack, maybe 2. If he hits Merciless. If he hits Slayer. So let's just say 6. Martyrs is 7th. Newt is 3 more. 8, 9, 10. So we only really have 10 out of the required hits so far. We still need to get 11. 11 is a lot to find. Now, Cold Heart's the obvious choice because we need max HP, right? So I feel like Cold Heart absolutely comes in here. One of them. Probably you. How tanky are you? I mean, you might die, you might not. We'll find out in today's episode of Will You Die? So now we get 4. So now we're at 14. So, who hits the most? Now, here's a question. Does the shield count as a buff or not? That's a question. I mean, he's super glass cannon. He'll get 1 shot, but it's a question. I'm curious. Let's find out. 'Cause I'll be honest, I don't want to run too many fast champions. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, look at that. Just run a bump. Might as well do that. She's in Relentless. She shouldn't be in Relentless. Wasting turns. Got it. It's also like a balance. I don't want to kill the wave. It's like there's a balance to it, right? I need to make sure I don't like. I'm coming into this wave dead now. That's why I was saying there's a balance to it. Yeah, see, that's what I was afraid of, right? I need a shield set, otherwise I get absolutely wrecked. So let's just try just throwing a simple shield set for a second. Who's in shield that I know is in shield? And Korra. So I probably don't want to do that. And the reason why I don't want to do that is this wave becomes too easy for him. Right? The weaken really makes him strong. Like this is me just testing, right? I know the builds that we can optimize the builds. Like she should be in just kill set, not relentless. I don't want her in relentless. And Korra's too fast, so she's taking extra turns, which I don't want her to do. Like this will kill this wave really fast. See what I mean? Like he one shots the wave, but I got to time it a little bit. Okay, so might as well hit this a little bit. Whatever. Throw up strengthen. Boost. Like, it's not going to break the shield now. See, that's why you need a shield. This is why I was saying Freya would be quite good, because I could cleanse the decreased speed then. The only problem is, the faultless defense doesn't work if I don't break the shield. So I actually put too much shield up here. Because you could see the bolster shield broke, but the main shield didn't. So actually, I kind of made a mistake. I should have not done the shield. I basically put too much shield up. It's not a major problem, but... So I'll get hit again. This time we did break the shield, you know? So we're just trying to break the shield right now. But I don't know. It's all about balance, this one's going to be. Like, trying to get the shield stacks down. And Korra's obviously the wrong choice because it's not enough hits to do it. So she's obviously not the right choice right now. But functionally, I just wanted to test the concept. How many hits would I need? It turns out a lot. Like, and Korra would basically... Freya would be basically sitting in this spot here right now. She'd put the initial shield up, which would get broken. And then the second time around, she would cleanse it, put block debuff, fill turn meter. Right, that's what I'm seeing her as potentially useful for. It's really bad that she's in Relentless. It's going to ruin this test. She's gonna die. A reviver though. Okay, so she's... I wonder if I have to wait, if it's better to wait for Freya. Because you see what I mean about Freya, right? The plan is to basically, she would create a strong enough shield to mitigate enough damage, but not so strong that it would break the team, okay? It would be strong enough to basically... The other option is I just run shield set on Marta, but I don't really want to do that. I'd rather run Freya, because I think Freya could work. Like, Freya would basically open with a shield. That would break the shield. We'd get the counter attack. We'd get faultless defense. And then we would basically get... one. With this, because it's a 4 hit of 5, so 6. Plus the 5 from faultless, 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 stacks. And then we would need to find another 5 hits. So we'd need to have Cold Heart have an A1 somewhere. Because then the point is, you basically open Marius A3, then you open with Newt A3, and then A2, and then you open with Cold Heart's A1. That's 10, 40, and then 70%. And hopefully you get a little bit of excess damage from everything. And then Slayer, and obviously Soul Reap would finish it off. Yeah, but you can basically find the balance that the shield absorbs enough damage but doesn't stop it, right? As long as he breaks the shield and does a little bit of damage to you, you'll get it. You can't survive without a shield. You absolutely can survive with a bit of a shield and still get the proc. That's what I'm trying to aim for here. Like, obviously, when I tried with Quintus, there was no shield at all. I got one shot. A bit of a problem. When I tried with Ancora, I double stacked the shield. Bit of a problem. But also, Ancora's only hitting once with the A1. Freya would only hit once with the A1. That's another problem. But it would cleanse as well. I mean, to be honest, we could just rerun it again and try it with Ancora, but use it properly. Because I made a mistake, basically. I used it wrong. So what we should do here is wait on this wave. I don't want him to use A2 here because effectively I'm going to use A3 to get some damage. And he's going to start wrecking. Just throw out some of that to get some damage. And then, like, hopefully we get back around to one more A1. That finishes the wave. That's where I want the wave to finish, right? I want 10 turns on the first wave, no more. Then we get to wave 2 here. Then we do the weaken. Okay, we'll get it back. Whatever, doesn't really matter. We can throw decreased defense on that. And then I need his A2 to be back here pretty quickly. She needs to be out of Relentless, for sure. She'd need to be a rebuild. And obviously, the Freya would be a lot slower than this. Ancora's too fast for this job. When we get here then, what we would do is we A1. So we have an artifact shield. I got a bolster shield. So what I should be able to do, you'll notice it'll break the bolster shield, but it won't, which gives me the stacks, right? That's what you want. So Freya would have put the shield up first, which is not stronger than a bolster shield. We A1 here, get a turn, max HP, 1, 2, 3. Cleanse off the speed buff. Just throw out there. That's where I need his A1, though. I have to time his A2 there. He has to have his A2 available. And I probably need to get her a little bit faster so she can get back round. Okay, well, she's going to take extra turns. Whatever. Because now I've got this, it's great. I can do extra, like, damage. Get a freeze off. She do, like, max HP hit. But you see the framework of the team there, right? That's the framework of the team. And the reason why I think Freya is good is because we get a turn meter fill. So I can basically put a 20% turn meter fill with this. This is only giving me a 10% turn meter fill. Freya's giving me 20%. And her passive would give me a little bit of a safety net. If anyone did die, it would stop their death, would prohibit the death, give me an instant turn. We're not going to survive this. Obviously, the Cold Heart's built poorly, so that's why it's not working. But that's my provision. I just don't know if I need to wait for Freya. I probably do. And I can cut the turns down a lot by basically rebalancing them. But like if I look at this team right now, like Cold Heart is built all wrong. It should be like 240 speeds, so that it's slow enough to be second, because I want it to go second. She has to go just after the boss, but fast enough that she gets back round to another turn. So that's the key, which is where I think the Freya turn meter fill would allow me to basically get another turn off. Because obviously we want to use her A1 for the heal reduction so that we don't have that problem. So the idea is, I think you basically get into the battle. We put Marta's A2 up for the counter attack. We put Freya's A3 up. Put Freya's A2 up as well. It's a shame Freya's increased defense on the other skill, but it's fine. I don't think these faultless defense stack, right? It's got to be defense placed by this champion, I'm pretty sure. I don't think they stack. If they do, it'd be broken strong. I'm pretty sure. Placed by this champion, yeah. So it won't stack, but it's fine that they kind of share it. That's not a problem. Because you'd have the same thing with Valkyrie, where you'd share the shield instead of the defense buff, right? Doesn't really matter. And Valkyrie's shield can grow to be a lot bigger, which is not ideal. So you'd put Marta A2, Valkyrie shield. Pony's going to get a turn, which is annoying because he's too fast, but it doesn't really matter, as is Newt. And then when the boss comes back around, you'd have it so that Cold Heart takes a turn, knocks the shield down. Newt takes a turn A3. Marius takes a turn A2. That's 60 to 70%. And you finish with Cold Heart. Now, the only problem is, ideally, I'd want to finish with Newt. It depends if Newt can get a turn with the 20%. So this is where we would go over to here, right? We'd come back over to here and we would go, okay, where's the Fire Knight one? We got a Fire Knight one here. That's Bommel. I'm pretty sure this is fine. This is when I was trying different things. So if we basically duplicate this a second, we call this Fire Knight Freya. Fracka. Freya. What we want to know is how important is the 20%. So we're going to go, leader's probably going to be Marius, just because he's got a defense buff. Then we're going to go, we want to make sure we are activating the shield reduction in the right order, as much as we can. So Newt should always be last, because if we get any extra hits, great. Awesome, right? Brilliant. That's what we want. Then it's probably Cold Heart. Then Pony. Oh, not Pony, sorry. Freya. And Marta. Okay. Now, in terms of base speeds here, Pony is 110. We won't have an aura. Marta is 93. God, Marta's base speed sucks. Freya's base speed is, what, 109, I think? Oh, 110. Close. Cold Heart is 94. And Newt is 99, I believe. Could be wrong, but I'll double check. I'm pretty sure he's 99. Yeah, 99. Okay, so if we basically go, well, Marius is going to be in Finite Hard. We're going to Marius at, when he's finished, 265 plus about 15, so 280. Be Marius. Marta, we're just going to put it at 254. It doesn't need to be faster. 253, it's fine. We're going to put Cold Heart at 249, and then Newt, unfortunately, is going to be 307. Well, whatever Newt is in. Should probably check these things. Newt. 323. Right now, Cold Heart is rocking. Let's see. Space, but Cold Heart doesn't even have a banner. 219, so she would have been 235. We'd have her 249. Because ideally, we don't want to take on the turn. Right? Yeah. It doesn't really matter. It's only for the aura, which we're not having right now. Right, so. Let's clear out this. Let's clear out this. Make sure it happens. Right, so what are we going to do? We're going to open with Newt. Because he's the fastest. Right, so that doesn't really matter. We'll just probably make him open with A2. Because we don't really care about the turns. We actually kind of want it to do enough damage to us to break the shield. So we don't want to hit we don't want to take his shield count down too much. So we would open with that. Marius would open with A1. Marta would then do shield. And then we would do this, right? So we're not ever going to get speed buffs. But we would get some debuffs potentially. So let me just hide these a second. Okay, so what we need to work out is what that's doing. What is that doing? Why is that adding turn meter there? It's weird. Shouldn't be doing that. So when we're at here, we're doing 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so the boss is going to have, at this point, 21 stacks. Okay, so we're going to lose. It should be 21 minus 5 for the faultless defense, right? Should be 5 for the faultless defense. Then we're going to hit with Newt 3 times. Well, let's do it in order. It's going to be Marius first, then Marta, then Freya. And Freya, I think, only hits once, I believe. Yeah, she only hits once. And then we're going to get Cold Heart's 5. And the reason why I say 5, even though it's 4, she has 5-star Phantom Touch, which means it's effectively 5, because it's a 99.89% chance you don't get it. It's a very, very, very small chance. So she's going to hit 5 times. So it's going to leave us with 8 stacks, right? Because Marius is going to hit once, Marta's going to hit once, Freya's going to hit once, Cold Heart's going to hit 4, and Newt, sorry, Newt as well. So we're going to take 3 off. It's going to leave us with 5 hits, which means Cold Heart then takes a turn instantly and knocks 5. So at this point here, we break the shield. Okay? This point here, we break the shield. Then Newt is going to come in, and he's going to do 30%. So at this point here, Newt is going to do 30% damage. Then Marius is going to do A3 into A2. So that's going to be 30% damage. We could even make him do A2. He doesn't need the defense buff probably to hit cap, because he's got plenty. So we could just do... Well, it might not be enough with... Let's just check. If he hasn't got decreased defense, we would have stacked probably 1 stack of cruelty. So we'll just do that. There would not be a weaken. And we've got Awakened Soul passive, so he's a 4-star, right? So based on that, we wouldn't have decreased defense or weaken. So we're just going to have Ignore Defense. And Marius is going to have, like, Slayer plus area bonus. So area bonus is near enough capped out. Wait. I think the area bonus is pretty much capped out. What is it at the moment? Oh, it's not. Oh, that's bad. You got 6%. So 30% plus 6%. That's pretty bad. Oh, yeah. So Marius is going to struggle to hit cap. So he's going to need his A3. It's going to struggle to hit cap. So A3 into A2. We really need decreased defense in this somehow. So Marta needs to be faster than Marius because we need the decreased defense. It's the only way. If we have decreased defense with no weaken, it's way easier to hit cap. Way easier. If I don't have decreased defense or weaken, it's way harder. So if I have decreased defense, no weaken, like here, and I take 36%, we will hit it. So I need Marta to go first Yeah, I don't have Little Miss Annie. So Marta has to be 281 speed. It's not a problem that she goes first, by the way. Because these guys are not going to outrun the critical rate. That's the key thing. She goes first. As long as she doesn't go before, like, someone who can get extra turns, it's fine. So what will happen now is Cold Heart will break the shield here. We'll go 30%. Marta hopefully does decreased defense. The only downside is Marta's not a reliable decreased defense. What's her rate? 50, 60, 75, 80%. Well, that is risky. That is risky. You'd want a more consistent decreased defense. Which would be a Quintus. But I don't think Quintus is going to work here. Unless I drop Cold Heart for Quintus. But then he's not going to get a turn. He'd have to go first. Could A3 it though. So it goes A3, A1, A2. That's not going to work though because I have to open. That sucks. You'd have to go after to break it. We're working it out here. Without the decreased defense, it's a bit of a struggle bus. I'll be honest. I mean, it is and it isn't. Marius will make up the difference because he'll have Slayer set, but it won't be to the maximum potential. So we'll have to assume that he will get like 25%. So we can put her back down slower. She doesn't need to be this fast anymore. We would have to assume it's like 25%. So we'll get 55. Marta's just going to come in and do her thing. And you know, we could just make her go faster just to see if it's like fine. What does it matter? Like 281 speed's easy to do. And obviously, if I get more ignore defense, it will make it easier, right? Freya's going to come in then with an A3, so she's going to cleanse. But we've probably got debuffs on Cold Heart here, right? So she's probably at 0.7 from this point on. I think as will Newt be. We can build these two without, because they can be tanky. They're not a problem. And Marius being Marius never gets it for some reason. So we can just drag these down. Freya's going to remove it at this point. And what Freya's going to do is do a 20% turn meter fill. Now, does the turn meter fill break the finite shield? No. Because that's the thing. This is where it's valuable now. If Newt can be faster than the finite boss at this point, he can get an A1, right? And if he gets an A1, he does this. Negative 0.145. He will knock the finite shield down. So now it's a question of how fast can I get Newt to make this work, right? Because he's going to need to be faster. So 325, 336, 339. Probably not fast enough. So we're going to have to hit a breakpoint. So it probably means I need to somehow break the turn order to give Newt a better speed somehow. So that could mean that Cold Heart has to go slower. God, how slow does she need to go to get Newt to take an extra turn here? There. Perfect. 150. So at this point, the shield's not broken, but it's fine. Because now we got a challenge, though. Because we can't open. So we can prio A2 at this point, just to break it. That will work. This is 0. Martyr does decrease defense. This is 25. 0 freeze. Nah, we can't do it because we can't A1. Because we need someone to go before. So what I was trying to do is reach a breakpoint. So what I mean by that is make it so that someone else is slower so that Newt will go before them, which gives Newt an extra tick, which means Newt will be faster than the boss, which works. But now we've got a skill order issue because Newt effectively will have to do A1 here, A2 here, and then he has to do A1 here. So he doesn't get an opportunity to use A3. And we can't tell the boss not to use, we can't tell the AI not to use A3 for 3 turns and then use it. Night Booho. So what we need to do is somehow figure out how to get Newt to get an extra turn whilst not causing him to not be able to use his A3 after the boss here. Which is difficult because I can't, unless I make Cold Heart super fast. But this doesn't solve the problem because it just puts Newt. It's always chasing, see? Newt is always chasing at this point, which is not going to work. Whereas if I do 2, 4, 9, make him super squishy. It's kind of hard because he's defense based and the boss has to kill him. Right, that's the problem. You either make all your team squishy or none of your team. It's more likely I can make Cold Heart squishy than I can making Newt. But even a basic shield normally absorbs quite a lot of the damage that you take. So it's actually quite difficult. Either the whole team just dies or either the whole team just dies or nobody dies. It's very difficult to do. So the issue is I need Cold Heart to go here, but I need Newt to go there at the same time to break this. See, this is the problem, right? Fire Knight right now has a 1.05. We have no other sources of freeze or turn meter reduction. So the 20% is not enough. At this point, it's not enough. Now, if Newt never gets a debuff, it would be fine. So that's the answer. That's the answer. Newt never gets a debuff. Because if Newt doesn't get a debuff here, I could do that. And then I could get an extra 10% here. Right? So we basically would go Cold Heart, 30% Newt, Then Newt would get an A1 here, so it doesn't do any damage. And right now we've done nothing but this 10%. So right now we've probably done 65% damage. But we would have done a bit more because you get Giant Slayers, you get lots of little niggly damage bits that you throw in there. The issue will be, how do I get the boss killed at this point? Because, okay, Martyr hasn't taken a turn. Marius hasn't taken a turn. We could just take a hit. We don't have to kill it right now because I could throw out Martyr's A3. Right? We could basically make Martyr open A2. Mind you, then we would have to disable her A3. Because Marius is not likely to have his A3 back for another turn, so he's just going to A1. So he's not going to do anything. Unless we slow all of them down. That's not going to make a difference. There's only so much you can do, see, right? So we've taken 0.45, but now the boss is going to take a turn here because you can't really make Freya go faster. So now it's an interesting one of, can we get Freya into weird breakpoints? So 279 speed gets her a little closer, but she's quite far off. She is quite far off. Like, she'd have to be like 301. But even then, that's not going to work, I think, because it just moves Cold Heart around. Oh, it does move Cold Heart into interesting positions. Where would Cold Heart move? So Cold Heart would drop down. Marius would drop out. Freya would jump up. Would push everyone down one turn. Which really wouldn't help. I mean, it would move this. So this would now be 0.2. That would stop that there. We'd get one nuke here. Cold Heart nuke there. I mean, would change nothing. It changed nothing. It changed nothing. Because we still have the same problem here, which is how do we breach this speed break? Martyr's not far away. But again, like the problem is we've only done like 65. I mean, obviously, if we make Cold Hearts A1, like if we can take the remaining, what is it, like 35%. How much is 35% of the boss's HP? That's an interesting question to ask. So if we find Cold Heart here. Like this one for now. If we were to optimize her to do A1 damage. Apparently she doesn't have Keen Strike. What kind of masteries has she got? Do I even want to know? She has no masteries. Okay, well, if she had masteries, for some reason she has no masteries, we put Laura Steel on her and build her with a bit of Helm Smasher. How much does this have? None of this has Ignore Defense, so that's fine. And if we put it into Finite, Boss, Hard, 10. We'll have 3-star because we've got a 4-star Newt. Don't need to do that. What are these stats? Crazy. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Let's just give her 249 speeds. She does need enough accuracy. So the boss needs 345, so 350 accuracy. So he's got 5.8 mil. So that means 35% is about 2 million HP. So it's can we find 2 million HP? Yeah, we're not going to build it tonight. It's just theory crafting. Crit damage. Crit. If you're going to use Marius in PvE, crit damage. If you're going to use him in Hydra, even more crit damage. If you're going to use him anywhere in PvE, crit damage is always the answer. If you're going to use him in Arena, you can be a bit more balanced. I could put Newt in Stone Skin. I was thinking about this as an option. We're probably not. We might have decreased defense. We might not. So we'll just turn that off. What's she got right now? I need to put someone in my vault. Yes, I know. Jinro, you can go in the snow. Let's put Ruark in the vaults. Let's bring Cold Heart out to the vault so I can put some gear on her. What up, cat? Making noises down here. She literally has no damage stats on at the moment, so we can basically make her have. That looks great. That looks brilliant. Let's give her that one. What up, cat? What? What? Not helping. Ooh. Well, it did not roll accuracy, which is unfortunate. We could have rolled that. I'm just checking the rings that I've got available. Okay, so we can give it accuracy or attack here. Give it a refresh. Speed or attack. Attack. Don't really need this. Don't really need that. Crit damage. Okay, so we don't want pinpoint, we don't want feral gear, we don't want slayer gear. Now what I'm trying to do is calculate how much damage will the A1 do against this guy without these stats, because that's what we can use the optimizer. We can kind of build a few things around here to see how much damage it will do. Okay, and then we can use that to basically figure out when I A1 the boss how much extra damage is it going to do. It's not exactly perfect science, but it's good enough. So you can see, like 22k, it's not going to do an awful lot. So trying to find 35% when I'm doing 22k damage is not going to do it. It's not going to do it. Now it's recommending what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 merciless combined with some weird stuff, which I don't know why it's asking for. Because obviously I wouldn't want to run extra turns. Extra turns is bad. So I don't know. I feel like the team is there. Now, obviously, it's technically... We can save ourselves 10% if we can get a Soul Reap. Activation. But we need to hit 8% to do that. And Newt needs to be the one that triggers it. So it's kind of like trying to find the balance between enough hits to basically break it. And maybe Freya is not the answer. Like this 20% turn meter is good. It's going to give Newt a chance to get a turn. But this speed that she's going at doesn't really matter. Whether she does it there or whether she does it there. It doesn't really matter. Newt's going to basically do this. And obviously we're going to get our 30% knockout here. This is going to break the shield. Marta will hopefully put something. Marius will put 25%. Then we have Cold Heart doing 10%. We just don't have a killer move. It's like I need another max HP. Well, it's not really gonna matter. Like, we need the counter attack to be able to break the shield, right? You need the counter attack. Without the counter attack, it doesn't work. So we need the counter attack, but to break, we just don't break it on the first hit. That's the shame. The other thing would be obviously to remove Freya and basically bring in someone like Quintus to basically get the counter attack broken on the shield. Because the biggest thing is when we get to this position here, right? This is the situation we're at by the time this finishes. We start with 21. We break 5 for the... we get a break of 5 for the False Defense. Then we get 1 from Marius, 1 from Marta, 1 from Freya. We get 5 from Cold Heart and 3 from Newt. That would leave us with 5, which is another Cold Heart A1. No, I didn't use Synchronous Keys yet. I should. That's a fair point. I'll just blast some things in the background. So it's kind of like, where do I find though? If I can find those extra 5 hits from something, then cool. But it's very hard to do. That. Because it requires me to then run Cold Heart first so that I get the Newt Marius combo. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research, I think. It wouldn't matter because she's getting an instant turn anyway. The only way it would matter is if I made her go faster than the boss, right? So if I put her at 251, this breaks the shield up. This breaks the combo. So she would have to die. The problem is, how do I reliably get someone like that to die? Because even in a squishy build right now, right? I ran her with right, I ran her in this build. Now she's got a bit of defense, to be fair. So we could try taking her out of the defense build. Let me just put her in an attack percent build and see if we can get her to die. Fine. I mean, I'd rather not be in relentless right now, so just put her in that. Right, I'd like her to die as much as I can. Her goal is to die on me. Switch her out into attack ring. Yeah, you just have that. Okay, so she's at basically 260 speed. Way too fast at the moment, which is understandable. We'd slow her right down. You know, we'd probably find like an attack percent boot with a bit of speed on it. Something like... could just take that for now. Just because she needs to be slow on the boss, right? Just a little bit slow on the boss. Not that much slower, but a little bit slow on the boss. So let's see if we can make her like die. So we've got Ancora in bolster. Okay. Now this is a 30% shield on 78,000. So she's getting effectively a 23.4k shield. Now, if we had Freya, let's say Freya got to... What is Freya's base defense here? I can do a bit of an estimation quickly. Freya's base defense is 149, quite low. So, assuming that a few critical hits come in, like Newt is going to critically hit 3 times. So, that's going to give her like 5, 10, 15%. Marius is going to critically hit once, so 20%. Mart is going to critically hit once, 25%. So she'll have 25% defense bonus. So imagine we basically just give her a standard build, which is like 3 point time, like something like that, 4227 plus 1500. So 5727 times 1.25, 7,158. 7,158 times. She'll be under increased defense, so 1.6. So she'll have 11,452. So let's just call it 11,500 shield times 2.5. So the shield that we would put from Freya would be 28,750 plus 10% of Cold Heart's health. And Cold Heart would be on... you know, we try to keep the HP low, but... about 3,000. So we're talking like it's not too dissimilar. It's about a 30,000 shield that she's going to get. Right? 30,000 shield she's going to get. Give or take. Throw this out. Bash, bash, bash. Bash. Bash, bash. 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 Weaken. So what I want to see is, will she die to this? Because she's going to have increased defense. I shouldn't use A3 there, by the way. I should only use A1. So that when he gets to this wave, he always has A3 available. So what we're looking for here is, will she die? Or will she live? Because if she doesn't die... See what I mean? She's not going to die. So we can't really use the instant turn. No, because Valkyrie does not do increased defense. See, this is the situation we get to. So because she didn't get an instant turn... I can't make her go faster. Because when we get to this wave, she wouldn't be the first one to go. What's good about this? She gets this, breaks the shield, then we would do max HP. Right? Then we would cleanse. Let's Freya cleanse. Then we would A1 decrease defense. Doesn't always work. This is why I said that max HP needs to be there. Now, it doesn't matter too much because we can probably survive another hit. So maybe I'm just trying to optimize to a point where I don't have to take the other hit. But let's be honest, I could take another hit. I won't die. I wouldn't die here. Because I'd obviously have the extra turn meter. That's what we're not accounting for 10% turn meter here. And then obviously she would take an extra turn here. So you'll get an extra hit from Freya when everyone... I already have it because I got faultless defense. Oh, she will hit one more time. Yeah, so I only need 4. And there's a potential that I get a Slayer proc, so that's 3. There's a potential you get like giant, like other procs from different things. Let me try this one more time, but properly without Marius messing up. So we A3 this way for a good clean clear. That was really weak. Didn't get as many Slayer spots. It's going to Soul Reap that. Now this wave, we basically never A3. So we use A2 to weaken. Then we just A1 there. And then all he should do is A3 and A1. Never A2 here. Because we need it for the next wave. And hopefully he just does enough damage to clear. See, he will with Slayer procs. And then when we get to this, we're going to do A1. A1. A2. Boss will then go boom. See, she takes a hit, but she doesn't take enough to die. Five hits, break the shield, max HP. Remove the defense. A1. Max HP. See, that's the goal. See, we get close. Then we need to break the shield again because Freya is we're only giving a 0.1 in the current speed tune if we were setting up correctly, which we're not right now. And then we have to break the shield one more time. But yeah, if we set the speed tune up, we could probably do it. Which is why I think I'm gonna have to wait for Freya. I think this is I can see the team. I think it works with Freya. Because obviously that would have caused an instant turn, kept her alive. But obviously the speeds are not correct. Which is why it's not working. So we'll wait for Freya. But I know it can work. That's what I want to test. I know it can work. So it's just we're gonna have to wait for Freya, basically. When I get Freya, I can do it. It's not like I don't have a finite hard team. I just want to get a team that I think if I optimize that team, I can get it really, really fast. I just don't have I just think Freya for me for that particular team will work really nicely. So let's clear out this and then I'm gonna finish there for the night. I will be back Tuesday, of course. Unfortunately, Freya is just gonna take a while because the next best time is probably gonna be the weekend. So we'll have to wait. She's meant to use the A3 Bob, it's just not speed tune. She's meant to basically get another turn before the boss goes and she A3s basically to finish off. But ideally I need... ideally I'm going to need like a Soul Reap to finish. which is another problem. Problems be problems. I don't have Odin, so it's no guarantee that I'll get Odin. How does faultless defense work? If you place increased defense, every time someone hits you, you reflect damage back. If they attack your ally with increased defense. So because the Fire Knight obviously attacks all of your team, and reflect counts as a hit on the boss, when you put the faultless defense up and you get attacked, so long as he's attacking more than just your shield, right? The shield damage doesn't count. It has to be more than just your shield. You will get a proc from that, and it will reduce 1 stack on the shield per ally. That's how it works. Okay, well, I won't use you. Let's just go and do you. No. You're annoying. Let's just do some bosses then, shall we? You're annoying. What are you? You're fine. Have you still got gear, or have I taken it off you? Took it off you. Xena's got gear. Yeah, it's fine. My wailing, I mean, I might, but it depends. If it's a 40, if it's a bad path, then no, I'm not wailing, basically. Depends what the path is, right? It depends what the prism is, because they've done expensive ones recently, so... It means if you snip track, then Martyr, I'm going to get all the counters and 2 separate lots of reflection. I think so, yes, because he reflects damage as well. I don't know if the faultless defense stacks with proper reflect. I think it does, because they're 2 separate coded events, so I think they do. But yeah, essentially, if you've got snip track, it can work with double. But you need the counterattack, right? That's the thing. That's why I can't get rid of Martyr. I need the counterattack. And then the Freya is cleansing, which obviously snip track cannot do. So there's that. I need to do Amius. Oh, I should probably fix Garrel. Let's just give her the opposing boots I just took off. Nope. How much crit rate do we need? Fitting room. Try on. Well, that's a bit overkill, not gonna lie. That'll do. Get her back to a fighting form. I mean, she's still in a pretty strong build. She's not lost that much smash. Like, she's still going to smash pretty good. Don't you worry. Alatrine is so good for this boss. I can't tell you how good he is for this boss. How am I beating it? It looks like I'm going to have to slow it this time. The only thing I might be able to do is use a Pedrai Quintus combo to potentially do it. Auto it. As long as he dies with the thing on there, it's not a problem. But yeah, I think I'm going to have to... There's a potential that you can one-shot it. I just don't know if my Quintus is strong enough to do it. Because he's only a 1-star. Oh, man, that's what I was afraid of. I've got to wait a turn now. Got to get the burn back on. It's going to revive, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to revive. God damn stupid mechanics. I knew that was going to happen the moment it freaking... Try that again. Correct. Reflect damage doesn't calculate damage by absorb shield. So you have to make sure that whatever shield you use will get breached. Otherwise, you're in trouble. Of course, the other answer is I don't actually have to use Freya. I could just put Martyr in a shield set and that frees up a 4th spot. I could put whomever I want. I could put another Cold Heart in there. Oh man, this is going to be annoying. We just not freeze it until it gets close to death. This is stupid. Just don't freeze it till it gets close to death. Like it's not going to kill me. I've got too strong a team. Apparently the spiders are T-posing, which is fun. Is she? I don't know if she's available in this restriction, though. There we go. It's fine now. She's probably not available in this restriction. I'll check now after, but it's fine. Boom. That might be alright. It's terrible. Ooh, that's potentially good. Yeah, see, I can't use Lydia. She's not available. Yeah. It's normally Lydia or Rotus I go to. One of the two. Oh, that's easy. I haven't done any of my Hydra runs this week yet. I'm kind of dreading it. I really don't want to run them. Frost Spider is all about killing the spiderlings as quickly as possible. Once you do that, you win. Most of the time. Then you just got to keep burns up. Boom. Done. Dark Tower done. Cursed City done. Clan Boss done. When's the siege start? 1 day, 9 hours. I've got to prep for that one tomorrow. Use my last 2 of these. Yeah, I got Carnage. Yeah. Last time before Hydra nerf, probably. Although I don't really think my teams are going to be affected. I still think the Trund team is going to be the best one for hard. I still think my single target nuke team is going to be the best one. I don't think I'm going to change anything. All I think is going to happen is everyone's damage is just going to be lower. That's my gut feeling. Is I don't really feel like anyone's going to be physically forced to change their teams beyond the Yannicka team. Like the Yannicka Ironclad teams are going to be gone because they just won't work. But I feel like the Trunda teams are still going to be the best team with the on Rios, and I feel like Trunda hard is going to be the best damage, and my other teams are going to be just as good. I think just single target nuking is still going to be the best way. Because, okay, now we got Serpents where we can't get as much hex damage, but the plan is going to be the same. Pick a head, kill it, decapitate it, kill that head, decapitate the next one, kill that head, decapitate the next one. It's easy. Shields cap globally, yeah. I mean, it's going to lose damage, but it's not going to change the team. Because overkill works, Curry, right? So what you want to do is be able to hit the head with as much damage in a single hit as possible. You might just... what we might just decide to do this time, instead of A1ing the full HP head, we'll soften it up first, so we get as much uptime. Then basically, there will be a strategy that you want to get the head just close to death, then A1. So you get the maximum amount of potential damage. And ideally, like, time it with your hex. It'll just basically mean, like, this is what I'm trying to say. To fix the excess, they've basically made everyone's lives harder now, because auto in Hydra is going to be almost impossible, I think. I think everyone's old auto teams that aren't super stable are going to struggle, because you can't reliably kill the heads anymore. You don't know. You need to prioritize. So, where before you could probably kill the head while it still had suffering will up. Now you can't. So I think what you'll find is you will have to take your autos off and go manual. That's what I think is going to happen. Yeah, I got Valkyrie. Does 100% ignore defense work against? No. Because you're not ignoring... It's damage reduction, as in flat damage multiplier, not ignore defense. It's not saying, oh, I've got a billion defense. It's basically physically multiplying the incoming damage to 0. So everyone's going to lose damage, but I don't think the Kraken teams are going to change. I think they're going to run exactly the same thing as they were before, but optimize them slightly. The people that are going to get punished are the people that are in the mid game and the late game that are doing a good Hydra key, but are not doing hundreds of millions, that are probably relying on auto teams, that won't be able to rely on auto teams anymore, that are now going to have to spend twice as long trying to get their teams to be able to do a stable key because they haven't got as much consistency as they had before. It's not actually going to solve the people who were creating the problem, and that's what I don't like about the changes. I feel like they just, as usual, they go a step too far. Every single time, they always go a step too far. It's like, when I made the recommendation about Serpent's Will going to 100%, it was because I said it was stupid that they didn't get a turn. Fine. I never suggested then we have like the consumption changes and everything else that goes along with it. My actual suggestion was that they didn't get buffs whilst they were in Serpent's Will, so that people had an opportunity to avoid scenarios like, okay, the Wrath head spawns, it instantly gets Poison Cloud, so now you can't put block buffs on it, or the Decay head spawns and get instant Poison Cloud, now you can't actually get a Provoke on it. It was also alongside increasing the base consumption duration to 3, so that you didn't get the Suffering situation where it was like, oh, double extra turn, or extra turn, I've lost my champion. Gone. No chance. And the third change I recommended was rebalancing about 4 to 5 different champions. Well, I think I said about 6 champions in epic and legendary pools to give more Veil options and more block buffs, and also add a secondary solution to Torment Head that wasn't just Shamael and Veil. Something like another debuff or something to help you, to open up the possible team building strategies. Because I still feel today it's stupid that it's basically Shamael or, what, 2 Hanorach? Like, there's not many Torment solutions, and Torment is now going to be a lot more problematic because you can't just kill it very quickly. So I never advocated for this Serpent's Will change on the back of further nerfs or further buffs to Hydra, because I felt like that would be egregious. I already knew that Serpent's Will going to 100% would hurt a lot of people's teams. It was on the basis of, well, let's normalize some of the extreme RNG that players faced so that they had an opportunity to control the fight in their favor, and then put Serpent's Will, because once you put Serpent's Will, it does slow down the Trunda teams and everything else. But honestly, the changes they've made, I feel like just punish the mid-game player. Because I still feel like the best strategy is going to be wait out the Serpent's Will with your Giga Charge gear that you're not going to die from and just one-shot it. Because it's not like they increased the Hydra stats or anything. If I choose ahead and I put Riho debuffs and it doesn't have Serpent's Will, my Quintus and Teox are going to rip it to pieces and it's going to kill it straight away. It'll just be now that I have to be more meaningful about where I put my damage. I just have to be smarter. It's not going to change my teams. I already manualed. It's not going to change my teams. It's just going to reduce my damage. I'm still going to be able to produce the strongest team with that, the strongest damage with that team. And the Trunda team, I still think is going to be the best team. That and the Onryo team. You just have to work harder to make it happen. And keep in mind, there is one little thing that they've done. If you kill the decapitated heads together, only one of them gets the Serpent Well. Only one. So if you get a situation where all 4 are dead and you kill all 4 of them, only one Serpent's Will comes back. 3 of them won't have it. So you kill those 3 straight away, and then you kill them again, wait for the other one's Serpent's Will to come out, and you kill them all again. So I don't think Serpent's Will is going to be a bigger problem if you can set the Trunda team up. If you've got a big enough Trunda, and my Trunda's quite good, it's nowhere near the best one, right? My Trunda is strong, but it is nowhere near the strongest Trunda in the game. I just see that they've solved no problems. They've just basically made it hard for everyone else. And that was dumb. Stupid to me. Absolutely stupid. But this is what they do. They don't actually... All they had to do was go in, make Wixwell a better champion, and remove Trunda's secondary damage from being remultipliable. All they had to do. Because, do you know what? I don't mind a Teox team going in and doing 6 billion if you want to push it to the absolute extreme. Because that actually requires incredible gear, right? The Trunder teams to get to like 120 billion do require very strong Trunder. The Trunder teams that need to get to 20 billion just need a couple of Yumikos. Don't even need a crazy Trunder. And it will beat the best geared team in the game. I absolutely don't have a problem with the record teams with Teox. I don't have a problem with those teams at all, like Toshiro teams, because you have to build them well. They can't just run. You need to have protection sets with Feral. You need to have the best possible Kraken gear. You need to have a strong team. You've got to work really hard. I just don't like the Trunder and the Yannicka teams because I don't think you have to work very hard at all. You just basically have to have the right champions and the right setup and it's done. Like my Trunder team easily outdamages my best build on everything else. It's so depressing to see. And yes, my Trunder's built really strong, but like look at this. Like if I look at the rest of my Trunder team, it's naff. It's just like thrown together with whatever I've got. Right, I run my Trunder team on hards. So, let's see. Emic, he's at like 300 speed, which, okay, for a lot of players would be fast. But when you realize the rest of the stuff, like Painkeeper, it's at 259 speed. Not really tanky at all. I've just thrown her in a set. Gerptuk, I believe, is like 285 speed in protection. These stats are high, but keep in mind that I've got a lot of different bonuses and stuff, right? I've got a lot of area bonuses. Venus is just in a really... Look at that build. Like, I'm not even building it properly. This will outdamage my best built, perfectly mapped out team. And I don't even build it properly. Like, I'm pretty sure if I looked at Emic right now, he might not even have all full gear. I might have taken something off him. Look. It's like not even leveled. Rank 5 gear, level 12. Don't even care. Crit rate, whatever. Look, I just don't care. Why? Because all he has to do is go in and press this button over and over and over again. So for me, all they had to do with Trunder and Hydra is go to Trunder, do exactly what they did. Take this, make the second hit 100% ignore defense, fixed. So it doesn't multiply. Absolutely fine. Then do these other changes, and I think she's viable for Arena. Honestly, I think she's great. You've basically made it more interesting for Arena. Perfect. And you kill that team. Then you go to Wixwell and you basically make it so that Vaultkeeper Wixwell's A2 doesn't scale off the current shield. It scales off a more fixed value that he has, right? So instead of this scaling on the value of the shield, I would scale it on a defense multiplier. So the stronger you build your Wixwell, the stronger the shield you get. And whilst it might kill like the ability to grow the shield really, really big, what it will do is give him more value when he's being used in short-term fights, in Arena, because actually you'll be able to see the shield growth. If you use this the first time, you don't even see the shield growth. It's useless. This is literally only useful for exploiting the game. Just the only use for this shield growth is when you want to push it to an absolute extreme on high end. Just make it so that this is more of a meaningful growth and it's more transactional with his A3 and you get a better overall ability. You do those two things, you stop the Yannicka, you don't have to nerf the Yannicka, you don't have to nerf Hydra, you don't have to nerf anything else. And then it now becomes a game of who can build the best team with the best champions. Great. It's all they had to do. All these other changes and the deep systems they've done to rectify it actually haven't solved the problem beyond making some viable strategies, because the non-Yannicka permataunt teams were very good. They weren't broken. But they offered players a strategy, if you had the Emic and you could set it up properly and you could have the Permatorn, to be able to avoid the consumption. Now, whilst avoiding game mechanics is kind of bad, you still have to build for it. I remember when I ran the Permatorn team, it was very difficult to find a damaging setup. I got maybe 300 million with an absolute decked out Whisper. So 300 million is fine. It's absolutely balanced. Because there's a hard cap to what you can do with Permatorn. It gives you access to the teams. If you can set it up, great. Congratulations. It gives a use for Taunt. It wasn't breaking the game. All they had to do was fix Trunder and fix Wixwell, and it would have fixed the clash. And I'm just so exhausted having to explain the point over and over and over and over again to them, and they still don't get it. Because the changes, all they've done is they just made it harder for the average player. They haven't fixed Trunda. They haven't stopped the Krakens, because I guarantee you we'll find the fact that people will go, look, Onryo breaks the game. Trunda still breaks the game. They're still going to be like 4 or 5 times better than any other team. So if you didn't fundamentally fix the root cause, but you made it harder for everyone else, what a terrible update. Honestly, terrible. Terrible. I mean, the thing about the 1.2 billion is, though, it does carry over, so it's not going to punish you. Yes, you might not get as many chests, but it's not like you're losing out. That's the key thing to remember, is you're not losing out by not getting the 1.2 billion every week, because it carries over. So you're eventually going to get them. My concern is less than 1.2 billion. My concern is just people feeling like they have to work extremely hard to get the 1.2 billion, where before they didn't have to. So I don't think it was their goal, by the way. Honestly, I think they just don't understand the problem. And that's where my head is at with it, right? I think they tested Trunda. They copied a Trunda team. They put it in a battle and they pressed auto. And they didn't bother running the numbers. They didn't consult with any players. They didn't go to like the best Trunda teams out there and say, hey, here's a staging environment. Test your team. See how well you do. Use your strategy, use your knowledge. They didn't engage with the people who know how to run the team. They just copied their team and ran it on auto and thought it would work. And Trunda doesn't work on auto. A lot of the top keys don't work on auto. You have to be strategic and smart about it. You have to pick the right head. You can't pick weak affinity, right? It's not an auto team. The double Yumiko team can be auto, but you'll never get good results with it. And especially with this change, you can't test this modification on an auto Trunda team. And I bet that's what they did. Oh, my Wixwell was a Lamassu placeholder test. I used Wixwell to basically test the concept of Lamassu in Arena. And it works. That's why he's so strong, because he's got high resistance. And he's really, really fast. He's basically my Lamassu tester. For when I get Lamassu. So. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But that's effectively... my concern is it's not going to affect the overall meta. Endgame players are not going to have to make much modifications, but it's going to make the average player have to spend twice as much time and effort to achieve results. And it's going to make the game mode more frustrating for players. And that will then lead them to quit, because they'll just be like, you nerfed the thing, you basically made it harder for me. And as much as I dislike the Yannicka teams and the Wixwell teams, at least it opened the door to Hydra to a lot more players. The last thing you should do is like close the door. If you do this large scale, I always have a philosophy with nerfs that if you're going to give something, if you're going to take something away, give something back. They should have paired some modifications to the extreme cases that frustrate people in Hydra around the Suffering Head or the kind of like respawning straight into Poison Cloud or something like that, that made it less frustrating to play if they wanted to make these changes. They basically just hit nerfs. That's all they did across the board. They just hit nerfs. They basically was like, this is going to get buffed, this is going to get buffed. You can't use perma-taunts. You can't use taunt. You can't use your Yannicka team. And we think we fixed Trunda, but we didn't, because we didn't think about excess damage because we're stupid. And then they've gone, there you go. You didn't get anything back. And they're trying to justify it by going, oh, but we gave you these chests. I'm like, fine. But the rewards are not the problem now. It's the experience. The experience is worse. You've just made the game mode experience worse for every player other than the top end players. And those people don't really care about getting the 1.2 if the whole experience is terrible, right? That's what I'm getting at. It's like, I know I can get the 1.2 billion without trying. I know a lot of players will struggle. And then they're going to feel like whether they get the chest or not is not the point. The point is if it's a horrible experience, which is why we wanted these nerfs, right? We wanted them to kill Trunda because we're frustrated. Or I'm frustrated with having to sit here for an hour and a half every week basically running Trunda in a non-fun way. That's what I'm frustrated with. But yeah. It depends, Track Media. My maths tell me if you set it up properly, you'll be fine. If you only have one shield, though, I think it will die very quickly. I think you will probably scrape 71 million, but it won't be as good as you think it will be. The way that it will work, Lee, is effectively if you have 3 decapitated heads and you kill all of them, only one will come back with Serpent's Will. That's the way it's worked. But even then, like, the new changes also disincentivize pushing. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I have got a busy day ahead of me tomorrow, so that was a bonus stream for you all. I will leave it there, and I will be back Tuesday for more sieging and other stuff. We'll see what the updates. We're going to get an update like Tuesday, Wednesday, I think. We'll have to do Hydra keys. Maybe a last hurrah of Hydra keys next stream. We'll see. Anyway, guys. Have a nice evening. Bye. Close your eyes and be still. Close your eyes and be still.